season was fucking nut, but that was
And
goddamn.
we
Yeah.
are live. My
Hello.
young Padawans, both light and dark, welcome.
Lies and slander.
Something, do it.
Something, Sanders lies.
Right? All right. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of TOTOR. Yes, we are off schedule, but we will still be getting some Tales of the Outer Rim in today. Reason being for the off schedule that yours truly here had the voice of Darth Sidious for the last week, as I was a little bit sick, and nobody wants to hear that for 4 hours. So that being said, I mean, debatable, yes, but anyway, all that to say, we are back. And just in time to see our new squad here, right as we have Kodov and Onli here, who have just recently joined up, take on a more diplomatic mission this time around. Perfect for a berserker. Hopefully the counselor can exactly offset that a little bit, but here we are.
Look, half of politics is just intimidating people and doing what you want, right? Right?
Not wrong. Aggressive negotiations, I think they call it in episode 1, right?
Sure.
All right. I mean, look, you should see the other Wookiee, right?
Exactly.
All right. So that being said,
You can keep a secret if one of them's dead.
right. So that being said, considering you guys have been given that diplomatic mission, well, semi-diplomatic mission, yeah, exactly, as Jokester says here, especially considering if you look at it this way, we're headed to Typhera, as that planet had recently separated from both the Republic and the Empire, and started negotiating with both sides to see who they would join up again after they apparently discovered some new secret technology or weapon of some kind. We're not too sure what it is, but you guys have been sent to A, figure out what it is, and B, ensure that that planet rejoins the Republic. Good luck doing that, as the Empire is also here and also aggressively negotiating. And by Empire, I mean the Sith Empire from, all the way from the Outer Rim. So yeah, your objective so far was figure out what this thing is and see if you can either acquire it or get the planet to rejoin the Republic. As you guys remember, maybe, you had landed on the station, the orbital space station, to the planet Typhera, as nobody currently is allowed to land directly on the planet, under threat, of course, of being shot down. As you have all landed on that space station, you disembarked, or were about to disembark. And I'll just give you guys a little bit of descriptives from what you see when you do decide to disembark, which doesn't have to be now. You guys can roleplay in the ship a little bit first, but before we do any of that stuff...
I think we did disembark, and
You
we
did,
talked
eh?
to somebody about
Right.
rooms.
You did. Okay, yes, it's been 3 weeks for me too. Yes, you guys definitely had disembarked and talked to the greeter, I guess you could say, right, from the Typherian administration, if memory serves. One sec, sorry, I'm coughing. Okay, we're good. Yeah, I know, I'm just trying not to blow everybody's eardrums out.
I appreciate that.
Right.
We like those intact.
Right. So on that note, yes, you guys were welcomed aboard the space station. A few things that you'll notice. Not too far from your ship, there's other ships, and you see some of them being loaded with cargo. Around the actual docking bay where you guys are, there's a solid amount of hustle and bustle, and further in you can see a few shopping stands that were probably set up for again, and off-planet transit or tourists, should I say. And past that point, there's the offices again that the Typherian administration has essentially attributed to both you and the Empire's diplomatic team.
That sounds smart.
Under the strict penalty that anybody caught doing violence upon the other diplomatic envoy team, be definitely barred from any further negotiations.
All I heard is if caught.
I mean, that's entirely up to how you guys want to interpret that. But long story short, you better not get caught, or you'll blow the whole potato sky high.
They threatened us, we threatened them. We'll see who comes out on top.
Oh,
Just
man,
kidding.
so-
I'm kidding.
Threats are fine. I said any form of physical violence. Do not harm them.
No, I meant
Well-
against people who tells us not to harm them.
I mean that too.
Well,
but yes.
if they get provoked into harming someone, then it's on them.
Right.
So don't draw first blood. Got it. Just kidding.
You're allowed to defend yourself.
I'm kidding. Mostly.
So, my question to you guys is, what do you guys want to do real quick?
I guess we're going to check out the rooms they're going to have for us.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember, did they take our weapons from us as well? They
No.
asked us to weaponless? Okay, good.
No.
We'd be having a whole different conversation right now.
No, you are not forced to disarm, but again, remember that, any unsanctioned usage of said weapons will result in the planet, never joining the Republic.
I just got one of Davi's dice that is still in the dice bag on accident.
The long story short,
That-
don't blow this.
Understandable.
Mhm.
So, my question to you guys, are we all going with Mibble right now to double check the rooms that you guys have been allocated? Is that how we're starting this off?
I mean, if that's where we're being led to.
Sort of given free reign of the station after talking with the person.
Hmm. I mean, overall, Orta's gonna just be following along quietly, sort of keeping an eye on things a little bit.
I'm gonna let our guide know that I'm a trained physician, and I'd like to see their med bay if possible.
When you say that, you see them bristle. And they look at you and they say, "No, sorry. The med bay is completely off limits unless there's a medical emergency."
Does this guy look like he's of particularly high rank?
No, he's a guard.
He's just like, basically a red shirt.
Kind of, yes.
Um, do I wanna?
Uh-oh.
To be fair, there are two of them, one on each side of the door, just to let you know.
Oh, there's two of them.
Yeah. There's just one guy who went, sorry, you're not allowed in, but there's two guards, one on each side of the door.
And both of
And-
them bristle when he asked?
Yep. And the one that's not talking to you, you can even see put his hand on the hilt of his blaster pistol.
You have problems in the med bay?
Negative. Med bay is off limits unless there's a medical emergency.
Mibble's not going to argue. He has no concern about this.
Interesting.
I was just
Response.
offering my services.
Unrequired. The med bay is off limits unless there's a medical emergency.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a note of who looks to be the less threatening of the two to see if I can find them later on in the space station.
Maybe
Yeah,
get some
okay.
info.
Very good. Yeah. I mean, like most guards, he'll probably at one point or at another be off his shift, which means you can probably find him at the cantina on the space station. All right.
I'm
Are we going
gonna-
anywhere else?
I'll
I
take
guess-
note of where the rooms are, but I think I'm gonna look for wherever, like, there has to be somewhere all the soldiers go to relax a little bit, so there has to be some sort of entertainment on here. I'm gonna go try to find that
Maybe a
area.
lounge or a bar.
A lounge, bar, places where people tend to consume slightly poisonous beverages that make them lose focus a little. Might have loose lips.
That would be the cantina, where there is obviously the hollow, you know, the Twilight Hollow dancers, the good old, you know, I'm not even gonna pronounce the name of Star Wars' equivalent for jazz because the A is changed for an I, and that just sounds like something that'll get us, you know, canceled. But all that to say, yes, you do have that being played by, you know, the good old Biff, and you know, the Gottle, you know, barkeep. Which, funny little tidbit about that race, they are empathetic. They can actually feel emotions, even though it's not a direct connection through the Force. And so, yes, considering, you know, we do not want to get, you know, canceled, I will not name that music out loud, but you guys can fill in the blanks.
Canonically, canonically, that's its name.
Yes, that is canonically its name. I did not make this up. Like, I wish I had made this up. It would have been a funny haha joke. No, that is canonically what it is
Something Disney's gonna have to change.
called. Disney is definitely gonna have to throw that right out the window because there's no way that is kid friendly. But anyway, like I am not even joking. Look it up, man.
Oh, George.
Look, I think he was having fun with it.
Right? Like it is, yeah. The music played by Cantina bands in Star Wars is called Bleep We're Cancelled. I'm not joking. It's an upbeat swing / jazz genre of music. Like I did not make this up. This is George Lucas being the absolute fucking Chad that he is, and getting us all canceled every time we try to talk about his music. And considering how amazing the music is in Star Wars, that's all I'm gonna say.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Classic.
So that being said, yes, we're definitely gonna get canceled now that you guys have all typed it up in chat. We're absolutely good to go. We're demonetized, canceled, and going to hell in a handbasket. Even though, like I said, it's the actual official name for it in Star Wars. This is not us being,
Look,
you know.
we're an 18 and older channel. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, we are? Okay, thank God. Phew. All right.
Yep. No.
Yeah, it's like of all the things that get you canceled, it's the actual music in Star Wars. But anyway, all that to
Not
say,
even the music, just the name of
the name of the music. Correct.
Yeah.
Copyright infringement? No. We die just from the name alone. We don't even need to play it. We die from the name alone.
I mean, one way or another, it's either gonna be the word itself or the mouse coming after it.
This is amazing. All right. But yes, there is a cantina on board the the station with the descriptives I've given earlier, where you can probably find most of the staff, you know, relaxing and or drinking and or just playing some of those board games. Well, board games, holo games, I guess you would call them at this point, like the Jarek, and you know, card games like Sabak. That you would find people playing again on board the station here. And so yeah, that's basically where you guys are at right now. You can go to the cantina if you want. You can go and check out. You said you wanted to go directly to the cantina, right, Only?
Yes, Only's gonna head there first.
Cool. How about everybody else? What is the rest of you guys doing? Are we staying grouped or are we splitting the party today? How are we feeling?
I mean, I was personally just following where the
I mean, if
the
if
guards were
group,
leading to
Yeah.
rooms, but
I
Okay.
think Mibble's gonna check out shops, see if he finds anything interesting.
Okay. So shops for Mibble. Only you're headed to the cantina. Orta, you're going for the rooms with the guards. Kodav, what are you doing?
is there a training facility?
There's probably some form of a gym or whatnot, if only to keep the standard personnel fit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go there.
Okay. So I'm gonna rotate through you guys, considering we're all going to different areas. I'll try to keep the timer more or less even between you guys, but again, if I'm going on for a little too long, send me a ding here. Mibble, you go to the stores. What kind of stores are you looking for?
Anything with gun parts or ship parts.
Okay. So there is a store that sells gun parts. When you look at it though, most of the parts they sell are basic things like, batteries, or should I say power cells for your blasters, um replacement parts, repair parts, etc. But it just, when you look at it all, it just feels touristy. Not like cheap plastic, but just like, yeah, it's a blaster, but it's really nothing to write home about. It's all very, very basic.
I do take a look at the paracells, see if I find one that I don't have.
Okay, go for it.
What do I roll?
Give me an investigation check here, please, as you're looking for something specific.
Am I able to use technology since it is technically tech?
I mean, sure. I'm good with tech. Go for it.
Okay. That's going to be a 27.
Nice. So yeah, you look through that pile of batteries, and again, unfortunately, you realize that your first glance at the stall was not wrong. These are all basic bitch power cells. There is nothing special about these. Like they're just, they don't even give stats. They're just, yeah, you put them in a blaster, it makes the blaster functional. That's it. Like apparently, like anything of value has either been already purchased, or again, they were specifically told, no, this you only sell the basic gear here.
All right. Next thing I'm going to look for are mid packs.
Okay.
Since Zuri sort of took all them with her.
God damn it, Zuri.
Damn it.
Yeah,
I mean, Zora.
not here and still getting shade.
They're listening. You know they are.
I know.
They can feel it in the force.
Lies.
I know she is.
Okay, well, you know Tilt's gonna tell them.
5. Oh, she says, oh, I know. Apparently she knew. You're right.
Yeah, like I said, she'd feel it in the force.
Yep. Okay. So, yeah, you go looking for med packs. And, there is a, whatchamacallit, store that basically sells, again, med packs. And not just med packs, but stims and chemistry stuff. So basically the Star Wars equivalent of a pharmacy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you ask for a med pack?
Yeah, I go see if they have the stem packs and whatnot.
Well, stim packs or med packs, because one is to heal, the other one is
Yeah, the one to
is
heal.
a buffing item. So you go looking for a med pack then, yes?
Yes.
For a sec. Okay. Oh, one sec. We just got some raiders. Hey guys!
Yay!
Oh.
Yay.
Hello raiders. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you guys. Sorry, I was looking at something off screen for a sec. Welcome, welcome.
Welcome to our chaos.
Yes, welcome to the
I
chaos
mean-
that it is.
Our game. Our perfectly structured game.
There you go. So, oddly
No
enough,
box.
as you are asking for those med packs, you can see, weirdly enough, the shopkeeper kind of like tenses up a little bit,
Mhm.
and then he pulls some out. He says, yeah, we do have a couple of Colto packs left.
How much are they?
Standard old 250, you know how it goes.
How many does he have in stock?
We only got 3 left, sorry, we're almost sold out.
I'll take the 3.
Alright, that'll be 750.
All right. I'll take that out of my credits.
And so, on that note, you have now gotten yourself an extra 3 of those Kolto med packs. Only, you were going to the cantina, see if you could talk to some of the guards or maybe have a drink yourself. What are you up to?
I mean, she's gonna grab a drink and find herself a table, you know. Just kind of looking like she's had a long ass day, which, to be fair, she kind of has. We've been traveling all day.
True.
It's not exactly a lie. And just kind of take a seat at one of the tables, and she'll spend some time kind of observing everyone to try and figure out, you know, who might be the most likely to let loose a few details. How she might be able to kind of work some of the people in this crowd.
So here are some of the tables and their current patrons. You'll notice there is one table that has a few of the guards. They are drinking and playing a card game. It does occasionally erupt in the loud, boisterous, you know, cheers or screams of outrage and disappointment, as money is probably pay money is being pushed around between them. You know, using good old credit chits here. Not too far from them, you'll see a party dressed in weird clothes, and you're able to actually recognize these clothes most definitely here as actually maybe not. No, this is not your old character. This is Only. Sorry, I'm still playing like you were Zizu. Yeah, no, Only here.
You.
I'm gonna need you to give me a little check here actually. Let's see. What
Come on, new dice, don't fail me now.
Yeah, right.
Look, I have a completely, like, all these are brand new dice I just bought.
Oh, really? You got a whole new set for her, eh?
I got a whole 4 new sets.
Well, considering how the old ones kind of, you know, betrayed you here.
Well, I also color code them to my character. I don't have a lot of reds and oranges.
Oh, really?
So.
Okay, cool. I like it. But yeah, so, no, if you can really quickly here, give me a lore check, actually, I think. Will be the thing.
Fitting. 5!
So they're wearing clothing that you would most definitely recognize as being somewhat military in nature, but you're not too sure who or what they belong to. So that's it for that second table then. But yeah, it's composed of men and women, and they're drinking, but they seem to be a little more controlled than the boisterous, you know, station guards that are that are at the table over. And finally, at the third table, you see, well, for lack of better terminology, it just looks like a bunch of shady types, and you're able to recognize those having been on Kashyyyk earlier and, you know, been in the arena pits and whatnot, as 2 of them look like the burly, covered in scars, you know, warrior types, I guess you could call them. And next to them, right, there's a few other guys that are kind of just looking around, almost like they're doing the same thing as you, like discreetly looking at the other tables while trying not to look at the other tables, you know?
There's a lot of choices there.
Depends on how you want to approach it.
I know.
We
I
love
think she's going to be
sex.
drawn to more towards the people that look a little more shady.
Okay.
As you described them.
Okay.
And she'll probably approach their table and be like, had a long day of escorting people. Have you guys been here a while? Because I could just use a little bit of lay of the land.
Okay, quick, let's see here. I'm gonna need you to do me another little roll here to see how well received that approach is here. Give me... You know what? Give me either a performance or a persuasion check here, as you're kind of trying to make buddy-buddy with them, you know?
We'll go with performance.
Okay. Faking it till you're making it. We like it.
I'm giving her background gladiator. I gave her proficiency in that. That's gonna be 21.
Very nice. So at first you see that they kind of bristle because they're just like, who's this random stranger like approaching our table, you know? But you open your mouth and you mention, you know, escorting people and whatnot, and they kind of realize that you're in the, non-official, or at the very least that's the impression you give them, that you're not in any, here in any official capacity. You're probably, again, more of a self-enterprising type, which, to them probably fits more with who they are, and, yeah, they'll just kick a table, and the shifty guy that was kind of looking around and seems to be more the leader of their little group kind of looks at you, gives you the chin nod, and goes, "Yeah, what's it to you?"
Well, figured share a few rounds of drinks, and maybe you guys can kind of tell me who to avoid. Don't want to cross the wrong paths. I've heard there's some pretty important people here. I mean, under the radar, so I can get in and get out with the jobs.
Yeah, I mean, if you're buying the rounds, I guess I can give you the basics. Get yourself, get all the boys here, like I said, around, and we'll start talking.
Yeah, and she'll definitely buy the whole table around.
All right, 10 credits a pop. There's 4 people plus you. That's 50 credits.
That's fine.
All right, it's not the super expensive stuff, but So yeah, you bring them all a mug of whatever the local drink is for 10 credits, and you have them basically take their drinks, and they'll start talking to you a little bit in a bit of a lowered voice, and the leader will kind of, again, eye point, over his shoulder, and he's gonna see those quiet types over there.
Mm-hmm.
They're part of the, and he lowers his voice even more, and he goes, they're part of the Sith Empire delegation.
Definitely want to stay off their radar.
Well, apparently rumors are they're here to get Typhira to, flip to the Empire. I don't know what people have found here, but it's got them mighty riled up.
Yeah. I mean, if it's enough to attract those types, probably something big.
Yeah, real big. Apparently, it's either some form of, super weapon or something, but nobody really knows what it is.
Yes, the only thing I'm real curious about is when we got here, the guards got real shifty about the medbay. Is there something weird going on there?
Hell if I know. Nobody's been there.
Well, that's good, I guess. That means there's not fights erupting everywhere.
Well, nobody wants to be thrown off the station. Apparently, right now, zero policy on any form of aggression or violence.
I mean, they don't have any kind of, more of the rough entertainment around. The fighting pits, nothing like that running?
On a space station like this? Nah. And even if there was, guaranteed it would have been shut down right now. Like I said, zero tolerance for violence on the station right now.
Well, that's no fun.
He kind of shrugs and he says, well, again, I don't know what's got people so shifty and riled up here, but yep, something's going on, that's for sure.
I mean, if they're here, it's only a matter of time before the other side shows up.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's just a powder keg, if you ask me.
He kind of shrugs and he says, well, yes and no. First one to pull a weapon or do something stupid is going to basically get a whole Empire/Republic disqualified from the negotiations, so,
So where's the betting pool happening on that one?
He kind of grins.
She'll have a few drinks with the guys before asking more questions, probably buy a second round.
Very good. And while you do that, we will roll over to Kodav.
I'm here.
Yep. So after your failed attempt at entering the mid-bay, where are you going, sir?
I'm going to the training facility.
That is correct. You get to the gym, basically, and you see there ain't many people there, and the few people that are there are probably, again, station guards that are trying to keep fit, right?
Is there any sort of like a section, like in Hunger Games they had
Mhm.
like that they had that that hollow simulator for battle.
Yep.
They have anything like that?
So this is more or less how they have the gym structured right now. It's divvied up in about 12, I don't want to say quadrants, but 12 sections.
Hmm.
And every section is more or less walled off from the other by a very, I won't say powerful, but fairly visible and powerful force field that can be turned on and off. The gravity of each of those 12 areas can also be modified as you see fit, and yes, they do cater to having holographic battle simulators, if you want to call them that.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to. Are they all occupied? Is it like fairly empty in here? Like, what's the situation as far
There's
as?
maybe like 5 or 6 people right now. It's about half full that are training.
I want to pick one where a lot of people can see me practicing.
Okay. So that would probably be one of the middle ones, right? That's close enough to all the other ones that nobody can really miss you.
Exactly.
Okay. Pick
And
one of the middle
like
ones. Yep.
I don't know if we make any rolls or anything like that, but aside from being a medic, I have a fairly diverse array of lightsaber abilities,
Okay.
and force abilities that are combat specific.
Okay.
Um, so so I have force sleep, and I have force weapon, saber dance, stuff like that. So I basically just want to go kind of all out on some training
Okay.
dummies and see if I catch anyone's attention.
Okay. You can probably at this point, how would I say this? You could probably summon up like some hollow creature or another, right? Uh, I wouldn't say necessarily like a rancor, but probably like something that would give you a decent challenge. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Give me a minute here. What are these things called again? I have not. Oh, there we go. Yeah, maybe like some craft hounds, like a 3 or 4 craft hounds or something, And as you do so, which moves are you using?
Um. So. So I figure they're all gonna come at me at once.
Mm-hmm.
So I figure I would do like a force. Did I take repel or did I just take push? I'm trying to remember. Oh yeah. So and I think I can push a person. Yeah, or manipulate creature. So I'm gonna force push one.
Okay.
Um, I'm guessing they react to physical and force abilities because they're you know so I'm force push one,
Okay.
and then I'm going to um do I'm gonna animate weapon um to engage one, and then I'll take on the third in hand-to-hand combat,
Okay.
and then
So,
hopefully I can down one of the two that I'm actually engaging before the third one double teams me.
yep. So I mean, yeah, you'll use those two powers. So go ahead and use those two powers. And yeah, it'll come out more or less as you predicted here. As you'll manage to push one, hit the other, and then fight the third one, and essentially kind of melt through all three of them, pretty much making it look fairly easy. You know what I mean? Roll me either a performance or charisma check, please, of some kind, preferably performance.
See, I don't think I have any points in performance. I have the 2 I get because I have charisma. So let's see what I roll. Oh, that's a high roll. That's a dirty 20.
Okay. Very nice. As you finish melting through these holographic Crathhounds, you notice that like the other training areas have gotten real quiet. You don't hear the grunting and the huffing of people, doing push-ups or lifting weights in high gravity environments or anything anymore. As everybody's kind of stopped to watch you fight. And you did pull your lightsaber, right?
Yeah, I did. I used animate weapon, which basically it makes my lightsaber go fight by itself.
Yep. So you basically just stood there and dispatched these 3 Crathhounds without them even getting near you. You basically just remote chop them off, or chop them up and then push them around, making it, like I said, look very easy. And yeah, that's got everybody like quiet. If you wanted to announce, hey, the Republic delegation is here, you couldn't have done it better than that. Put it that way, with a nice show of force here.
Yeah, I'm just
Force.
Show of force.
Literally.
I see what you did there. Yeah, I'm gonna towel off and I'm just gonna force grab my lightsaber because I'm not walking to pick it up because that's pedestrian.
Very good. Yeah, you literally just force it back into its little thing on your belt, the hook on your belt, yeah, for sure.
Just like
okay.
And then I'm just I build up like a nice sweat, and then I towel off and just basically literally head to the showers.
Okay. So before we go on to that steamy shower scene, let's move on to Orta real quick, and we'll loop back around. Orta, what are you doing right now?
You lock the door behind you. Just kidding.
Don't drop the soap.
Look, we've been there with
I'm a Jedi. Jedis never drop the soap. Yes, it has to be on purpose.
Here's the thing: even if he drops the soap, he could just force it back into his hand. He never has to bend over.
Yeah.
So if he does, what is he saying? Just kidding.
Stop it.
I can't. Okay. We've discussed the timeshare.
That's a Sithy situation to be stuck in. Moving on, Orta.
It must be time for spring cleaning because these gutters are just so full.
Look, okay.
Oh my.
Moving on.
As for what Orta is doing, he's
Yes.
going to get his stuff established in his room
Okay.
and kind of make sure that it's he's nice and cozy in there for his stay. And then after that, he is going to head to whatever knowledge bank there is, whatever library is that he can sort of
Or
readily
equivalent to.
reach. And he's
Okay.
basically just going to be researching the planet that we're sort of trying to get to be on our side.
Okay.
Trying to, make it as easy as possible to be delegates.
So, as far as your environment goes when it comes to your quarters, they're fairly Spartan in the sense that, there's not a crazy amount of obnoxious decorations or anything. On the table, though, there is the obligatory, like fruit basket and whatnot, like the basic, like, welcome to the diplomatic delegates offerings, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But again, it's all fairly sober, if that makes sense. It's almost like whoever has prepped this was kind of trying to either put you guys in a somewhat uncomfortable position by giving you fairly, like, again, Spartan accommodations, or it's just a show of force saying, hey, look, we're so much superior, we can afford to put the Republic's delegates in a shitty room. But one way or another, again, it's not the most, how do I put this?
It's not exactly the swing.
They're not rolling out the red carpet for you guys, let's call it that.
Kind of a Motel 6 kind of situation.
Yeah, maybe a little bit better than that. I wouldn't go
Okay.
Motel 6. You're still delegates, and they're still treating you as such, but you're not putting the penthouse suite from the Ritz, call it that.
Gotcha. So maybe like a Motel 7 or 8.
Sure, maybe even Motel 12. We can
Oh,
go as
damn.
high as a 12, but that's
Okay.
about it. It's not a hotel yet.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so you guys are put basically into those rooms, and then yeah, sure, you unpack your stuff, and then you head on out. There's no library per se on the station, but they do have public public terminals that you can probably use for like queries and then basic information.
Alright, then I'm going to be completing some queries and gathering some basic information about the planet.
All right. So as far as Typhira goes, there isn't all that much on this system. It's almost like they've kind of took out or redacted a lot of the basic information. But what there is about the planet here, let me give you some of the lore at the very least. One thing you do figure out reading up on this planet is it was originally the home of an insectoid species called the Vratix.
And what happened to the Vratix?
Well, as human colonists came to Typhira, they slowly turned the Vratix into an indentured, well, for lack of better terminology, slave labor force.
Okay.
They were the native inhabitants of Typhira. They are not allowed off-world under any circumstances. And they look like basically halfway between a praying mantis and a grasshopper with a head that has giant bulbous eyes.
Okay.
I'll send you a quick little image in the chat here so you can see what it looks like. If I can get the image to load right.
Huh?
Copy image, there we go. And yes, they are four-legged
Okay.
insectoids. Here we go. That is what a Vratix looks like.
Oh, quaint fellas.
Yes, quite, but again, not allowed off-world.
Yep. How do those arms work? Anyways. So, originally home of the Vratix. Vratix are now less than stellarly treated. What else is there to know? Like, what is there to know about, like, the current, I guess, leadership of the planet?
So the leadership of the planet itself is not Vratix in nature. There's one Vratix that sits on the basically the council of Typhira, but it's, as you can guess, considering he's, you know, outnumbered 9-1 by the humans. He's a tiebreaker on a bad day, basically. Or should I say on a good day, and then completely useless on a bad one.
On most days.
Yeah, it's
Considering
mostly
defeat,
just to kind of represent the species to help prevent an
And-
uprising
yeah.
more than it is a
You
actual
have
deciding role.
representation.
You see, yeah, you have representation. Stop whining.
Exactly.
It's
See, exactly. You're not allowed to complain. You have a person representing your entire species. But yeah, so all that to say, yes, it's a council, 10 people, 9 humans, and 1 Vratix. And that is more or less the deciding body of the planet. They each represent different districts. One of the representatives is that of the space station. Their word weighs a little heavier because, you know, the space station is the gateway to the planet, so slightly more of a heavy word, you know. A little bit more weight to throw around if you want your stuff to get imported or exported. Well, you know, don't piss me off too much type of deal.
Classic.
You know, the usual. But yeah, that's more or less
The leadership.
the system, the leadership for the planet right now.
And do I have any access to the recent sort of bills that have been passed here?
Funny enough, there hasn't been much change in the last little while from what you're able to tell. Um, that being said, give me 1 minute just to make sure I'm not contradicting any pre-established lore. Nope, that's it. All right, perfect. Yep, nope, that's it. Okay, so yeah, that being said, no, there hasn't been many bills, quote unquote, passed recently. What you do realize, though, is yes, there is an announcement, a legal announcement that was made recently, officially stating that the planet Typhera was seceding from the Old Republic.
Okay.
Saying that, you know, the Republic is basically exploiting the planet for its own gains, and that this will not stand until, you know, either Typhera's economic ties were renegotiated or until a better offer is made, aka hint hint nudge nudge, Sith Empire.
Gotcha. Dang. So they
But
feel
that's
exploited. Kind of ironic, but in any case.
well, considering what you guys were already briefed and how intelligent your character is, you're able to kind of read between the lines. It's not that they feel exploited, it's that they're in a position, or at least they feel like they're in a position of power, and they're kind of using that to either strong-arm the Republic into giving them a better deal, or essentially have your well, again, get the
Yeah.
strong-arm the Republic in a better deal, or have the Empire basically swoop in and take the cake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Kind of just don't want to go in with my pants down, so
Nope.
I'll
So that's
gather more
basic information.
basic. Yeah.
But yeah, there's obviously nothing about, you know, nothing is mentioned of that super tech or that technology you
Of
guys are
course, of
looking
course.
for. There's nothing really like that though.
Well, yeah,
Um,
like I'm not really looking for like mention of the super tech or anything. I'm just trying to get an establish
Yep.
an understanding of what the current climate, political
Yep.
climate of the planet is, so that once we go into negotiations, I know what we want to use
Yep.
as part of our negotiation.
What you can tell though, again,
How
from
can I
this is that
pander?
yeah, no, and what you can tell from this place though is it is definitely a um how do I say it? It was definitely for a very long time and still is to this day, as far as you're concerned. It's an agricultural planet,
Mhm.
It's a bug planet.
basically. It's an agricultural bug planet.
Sorry, I had to.
Totally.
They farm
I
grain.
respect it. So it's an agricultural planet, so kind of lean into that factor.
Yep. But that's, yes, the majority of the information. We will roll over back to Mibble now.
All right.
Mibble,
so
you were
after-
done shopping. Where are you going now?
Probably check out the room, to which I guess Orta already did. So I guess it wouldn't be much different from what you tell Tim.
Okay, so you're going there, you're dropping off your stuff, that's it?
Yeah, pretty much. And I'll hang out there and I'll study more on my weapon stuff for a little bit.
Okay, cool. Only, after drinking and hanging out with these somewhat shady-looking individuals, where do you go? What do you do? Only, can you hear us?
Sorry, I was muted because the TV
Uh,
was on in the background, so
God.
I want to make
good.
sure we weren't being picked up.
Nope, you're fine.
So Anli's going to kind of, basically just BS with these guys for a while, typical as you do when she's not going to pry for information or anything like that because she's not trying to build that kind of relationship or trying to be like, hey, I need information.
Mm-hmm.
Probably buy him a second round of drinks before. Is there some sort of like dart game? The equivalent of darts that you'd have at the at a typical bar?
Not really. It's not really like the most like popular type of game you'd find in a bar over there. It's a lot of them are
Yeah.
more like hollow games. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
the one that you if you remember the Wookiee and then R2D2
Yeah.
playing, Chewbacca and R2D2 playing in the Falcon, like that sort of stuff, and card games and stuff like that. It's more.
She has no interest in that. She's just looking for something a little more physical because she can't go find, fight rings and things like that. So
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, that's really not the average Cantina game. You know what I'm saying? You could probably
Yeah.
find a way to set one up, but again, that's not currently
it's her
the
first
thing.
night here,
Anyway.
and she's not really that. She doesn't care that much.
Mhm.
But yeah, she'll probably thank the guys for the information, kind of with a parting that if you got any jobs that are gonna need to be handled and before I take off, hit me up. Type of like general like, hey, hit me up, but don't really hit me up. Things that people do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we
they
should
give
totally hang out.
they
Yeah.
give you the yeah sure kind of thing. That
Yeah.
means nah, yeah, no fucking way in hell. But we'll make sure we'll pretend like we're interested too.
Yeah, and it's very obvious about. I'm saying it because it's the polite thing to say in this situation, but don't fucking call me.
Right.
Here's my number. Don't call me.
Yeah, and they basically give you the don't fucking come back kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she'll head out and head back
Right.
to the rooms. And as she passes by like the Sith table, she'll just take like a quick glance. She doesn't want to stare or anything, but just kind of take a quick glance and see if she can, commit any without like studying them. Just commit a few faces to memory in case
Yep, definitely.
they decide to change their clothes.
Yep. Very good.
Can't identify them by robes alone.
Mhm.
And then head back to the rooms. See
Yep.
what the rest of the group was up to.
Very good. Okay. Last but not least, Kodav.
I'm
Taking a
I'm
shower, I
gonna-
believe, after the workout.
Yep, I'm gonna take a shower. Unless someone tries to shank me, I'm just gonna take a shower and head to my room.
So, funny thing about showers in Star Wars, they're sonic showers, so you don't even really need to get undressed. They'll just literally sound wave all the gunk and garbage off of you.
Where's the
Ah.
fun in that?
Hey, the sonic showers are a thing. I don't know what to tell you.
And suddenly they're all broken.
Imagining like you bring in your shampoo bottle to Root Sandstorm plays for a little bit, you come out and you're clean.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Look, I didn't invent those, alright? They're there for...
I'm sure they have water options for people who want them.
Look, I'm just saying, sonic showers are a thing in Star Wars. I don't know what to tell you.
And I'm just saying, some people's ears are more sensitive than others, so Sonic could do a lot of damage. So there's probably other cleaning options.
Yeah.
Sure.
Mass Effect has Sonic ones too, and I don't see all of us using them.
Again, they're the cheap and efficient option to basically clean yourself up.
We are on a space station, so
Water does come at a premium, and I'll tell you this right off the bat: the gym showers are Sonic only. There is no water shower here. That's a luxury.
Yeah, that you have
You want to get a
Motel
water shower?
13 at least.
You probably have to like break your way into the like personal quarters of the station administrator or something if you want a hot water shower.
And that's where we draw the line.
You're right.
And for
No
break-in. Just kidding.
No hot water shower,
Bring it down.
unacceptable.
Bring
These
it all down.
negotiations have now failed. Right.
Now they shall feel our wrath. I mean,
Right.
what did the Jedi call it?
You know what? I ain't even giving you dark side points for that, man. Just burn it down. No hot water showers. That's inhumane. All right. But yeah, no.
anyways.
All right. Azrin, you were saying.
I'm after my sonic shower. I'm just gonna head back to the rooms.
Okay.
Just so I can, see if there's anyone of a boarding party around. See if they saw anything, figured out anything. And then if not, then I'm just gonna head to, I guess, the mess hall and get some chow.
Okay. No, when you get there, Mibble and Only are definitely already there. Orta, I'm assuming you'd be joining them fairly quickly after that? Or was there anything else you wanted to do?
Nope, I finished what I was doing.
Okay, so yeah, the four of you basically end up meeting back in your quarters at this rate. I don't know if you guys have stuff you want to exchange or anything you want to say or do before you head back out.
I mean, I would share the basic information I've learned about the planet. Just so you know. We're all kind of prepared and know what we're kind of dealing with.
I'll share,
Interesting.
that they shut down any and all like forms of fighting, including the fight rings and kind of entertainment based. Like it's completely shut down. They feels like they really don't want people in that med bay.
I went to the training hall and basically showed off. I'm actually hoping to draw the attention of the Sith delegate to see if I can force their hand into something a little bit aggressive, seeing how Sith are Sith, and force them off the negotiation table.
Well, if you want to go meet them, they're down in the cantina right now.
I don't want to be the instigator.
I mean, you go in there for a drink and see what happens. Sith be Sith.
True.
Sith be Sith.
Well, I did plan to head to the cantina to get some food. I'm not sure what the rest of you are doing with the rest of your night, but
Well, I just left there. I think it'd be a little awkward if I walked back in, especially with someone who just pretty much announced to the whole station that they're Jedi.
I'm not a Jedi.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna be staying in my room for the time being, but let us know if anything happens.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Kodev will remind you that he is not a Jedi. He's just very proficient with the Force.
I just gonna get a look and be like, to everyone else, you're just a Jedi. You can split hairs ever you want. Yeah, use one of the light sticks and the Force, you are Jedi.
Well, the Council and I have differing opinions on that status.
Well, you and the rest of the population, apparently.
Okay. So on that note,
Something put lipstick on a pig.
on that note, I'm assuming you're going to the cantinas.
Yep.
Anybody going with him?
I'll go with him. Yeah, I'll stick with him.
All
We'll
right.
stay in his
I don't want to
room.
be too far away in case something does go down. So I'm not gonna go back into the cantina. That's just awkward.
Hang
But I'll
around
be
outside.
somewhere close enough. Not right outside, just kind of like somewhere nearby. If there's a shop nearby, I'll be there. Not really looking at anything. Looking, but not
Nibble's
looking.
gonna be in his room. He'll stay in his room for the time being.
Am I familiar with Mibble being pretty much the science officer? Or like
He's an engineer, so he knows how to fly the ship, knows how to repair the ship, and pretty much knows his way around weaponry.
Yeah, I would believe if Mibble themselves haven't told you, you would have probably gotten a short personnel file from the other through. Well, not from Only, but from the other two at the very least. When Garm gave you or assigned you to the team.
Mibble, question.
Yeah.
Without ruining our current diplomatic status, do you think with your abilities you'd be able to tap into the cameras of the sickbay?
Give me some time and a point where I could get into the technology, possibly.
So we just have to find you an open terminal in enough time not being seen.
Yeah.
I'll see what I can do.
Till then, I'll be in my room.
I'm just gonna head over to the canteen after that.
Okay. So, you head over to the cantina, right? Orta and Toe. And, I mean, it does give off the, Jedi Master and Apprentice look. Which one is the apprentice looking one? Which one's the master looking one is entirely up to whoever's looking at you guys. Which at this point, when you guys enter, is probably the entire cantina. I mean, the same old, we're gonna pretend like we're not looking, and the laughs sound almost artificial as, simulated conversations are being conducted. But in the reality of it, everybody's kind of paying attention to you guys as you walk into the cantina. And the barkeep says, "Take a table, I'll be right with y'all. What do you want?"
Kodav doesn't really. He's not a prude, but he's not really a drinker. Like, I guess he would at this point know what the most low alcoholic thing you can get in a bar, just to not seem out of place. You don't go into the speakeasy and get a glass of water. Like you know what I mean?
I mean, I'll be real with you, homie. That's a skill issue if you can't order a glass of water in the speakeasy, but I get you. So, yes.
So he orders the most, non-alcoholic, beverage that, they should have based on availability.
The virgin rum and coke of the Star Wars universe. Got you.
Yeah. And
okay.
he's also gonna ask, is it pretty much, auto construct rations, or do they have actual real food on the station?
I mean, we've got real auto construct rations on the station.
Well, I mean, do you have something that's not, an
Nuked in the
MRE?
microwave.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to disappoint, homie. I mean, I got some good food, but it's still all artificial stuff, man.
All right. Well,
you want the high grade stuff, you gotta go planet side or somewhere else.
Oh,
Personally, I recommend somewhere else.
Well, we're working on getting planet side, but I don't know if that'll happen. But we're trying our best. I guess I'll take whatever is the least appalling.
All right. He kind of nods at you. Tells you it's gonna be about 7 minutes, and he'll bring it over. Tells you guys to have a seat, and eventually he'll bring both of you food. And funny enough, while the main meal is indeed, you can tell it was microwave cooked, he still did his best to kind of dress it up nicely, as there's some lettuce, some nuts, a sauce, and everything. Like he kind of dressed it up a little bit more rather than just here's a plate of sop. You know what I'm saying?
I nod my head in appreciation.
He nods back, says that the food will be debited off of your accounts, and walks away. And By accounts, he doesn't mean your accounts. He means the diplomatic, New Republic diplomatic accounts.
Oh, okay, awesome.
As at the very least, your food should be paid if you're going to be doing, diplomatic work for the Republic.
Mm.
Unfortunately, no lobster, champagne, and caviar. But this is the closest we can get.
They still got his milk and pepperoni hot pockets. Take it or leave it.
I mean, that's pretty much it. Blue milk and hot pockets, but we're close enough.
Blue milk in hot pockets.
Right.
Right.
Right. Every part of the bent is good to use. I mean, but yeah, on that side though, you get it. On that being said, you are brought, at least some decent food here. I mean, do you guys like say or do anything, or you just kind of like eat in silence, the two of you? Let's start from here.
I'm gonna try and see if I can find anything else about Orta. Like, you seem to have pretty good relations with the council.
Hard to say. I barely talked to them personally. Fun part is, Orta speaks telepathically, so if you're speaking out loud, it'll just look like you're talking to yourself. I'm just stating that right now.
Oh, that's
True.
right, because you don't have a mouth.
I have a mouth. It's
Oh,
just
you
the
have to-
overbite is so distinct that I speak telepathically instead.
Okay. You know what? I'm still going to respond to you, like,
Mhm.
like you're like, I'm looking at you like you're talking to me, and I'm responding to you. I'm not gonna do it telepathically, just so it doesn't look like just both of us here not saying a word is
Right.
is
A little
just
funky.
yeah, just too weird.
Just making
Yeah.
a little, eye contact.
Yeah. And while we're having our conversation, I'm just gonna basically, keep a lookout and see if there's any, um, um, like, is there anyone else that looks like they're a non-guard? Are there any other delegations of any kind?
Yeah, like I
Merchants?
told you, the Sith do have a delegation that's also drinking and although much more dignified than the guards were kind of hollering while they're playing their card game. There is still a delegation of the Sith Empire that are there, and you can tell because it's all capes and robes and very somber mood at the table, but they're still drinking and smirking at each other and talking in low tones.
Maintain low tones. Maintain low tones.
Mhm.
So I'm gonna, just basically, ask, um, you know, I'm just gonna, ask Orta the basic stuff, like, what planet he's from, stuff like that. You know,
Mhm.
basic, non as well as what he perceives as a non-offensive social banter,
Mhm.
considering, he doesn't know how long he's going to be under his care. He wants to at least, um, get to know him a bit better.
So Orta, good
Fair.
question. What planet do you come from? Enlighten the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I come from the Drathos homeworld. It's a lovely place.
Can you say
Lovely
that with a
place.
straight face?
No.
He says that with all the sarcasm in the world.
No, like the moment Orta starts talking about home, he kind of doesn't really go deep into it. He's just like, I come from the Drathos homeworld. It's
It's literally called Drathos. There's no yeah.
yeah.
You're good.
I come from Drathos. It's
Part of the Outer Rims, actually.
it's certainly a unique environment.
For those who do
Though-
not know, it has jagged, windswept mountain and deep caves. Think of some like the entire planet is a spiky ball of mountains and caves. if that
Oh,
gives you a
God.
bit of an idea. And it's
Yeah.
windswept, so it's not exactly like it's very harsh environment. Call it that.
So
You-
basically, the entire planet is the Rocky Mountains.
Kind
Yeah.
of, basically.
Not to
Basically.
mention the favored pastime is war.
Yeah, it's barren mountains. It's not like there's no pretty like plants and trees and whatever and like the real Rocky Mountains here. No. This is like the desert Rocky Mountains.
And if you look over here, these are our rock spikes.
And over there we have more rock spikes, and here we have a couple of caves under that rock spike. That's my house, basically.
Oh, and if
More
you look
pointy rocks,
here,
more
you
pointy
can
rocks.
see the death pit, we've decided to call it here locally, because people sometimes trip and fall into it.
And
Lovely
they don't
It's
come
also
back.
it's also at the bottom of which that we have our our bi-weekly arena fights where hundreds of people fight each other and die because there's nothing better to do on this rock. Basically, it's a charming place. We love Drathos.
It's lovely. And if you go here, there are more spikes.
There you go. So, long story short, that's basically the picture Kodav that he's painting of his homeworld, calling it a lovely place.
It's a picturesque hellhole.
It has the same color palette as Skyrim.
There you
Oh God.
go. Oh lordy. Yup. All right. Well, that's yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
Are you?
it's not-
Are you? Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I don't, because I was looking. Give me a second here. Ba, ba, ba. Let's- So is it just the Sith who are playing cards?
No, the ones playing cards are mostly the guards. Actually, the Sith are kind of all sitting at their table, but they're being a lot more quiet.
Hmm. Alright, it's like I really want to try and do something to tick off the Sith, but I don't want to make it very obvious. I'm not a stealthy Force user. I'm a very blatant and obvious Force user.
I do have a question for you, though. Are you eating at this point?
Yeah. I mean, food was
Yeah.
brought, so yeah.
Okay. As you eat, and you get to eating those leaves and those nuts, and you start swallowing the food, it almost feels like those nuts are getting stuck in your throat. Like you were having a hard time swallowing them, and they're starting to kind of like... You're having a bit of a hard time breathing at this point. In fact, it's more than just a hard time breathing. It feels like you're not breathing.
Do I feel like the nuts are expanding in my throat?
Kind
Or-
of. It almost feels like you're choking on these nuts.
Is this all a
The
D's nuts
DM
joke?
got us. The DM got us.
So, the fact that I got all y'all does not change the fact that you are indeed choking on some nuts right now. And no, I don't mean it. I don't mean it in the way that gets us canceled. I mean you are literally choking on food.
You are
You're
literally choking on these nuts. I'm sorry.
No.
You
What
said it.
What I do need you to do here is I need you to give me a Constitution saving throw, please.
Hold on a second.
And
let's
just
see.
for clarification for our imagination, is
Mhm.
it like allergic reaction type of
That's an
suffocation, or
important
like
question.
they're actually physically stuck in my throat?
Yeah,
No, to him it feels like they're physically stuck in his throat.
Okay.
Okay. So if
Do
I
I
feel
notice
like they're
this?
physically stuck in my throat, I'm going to
You're trying to cough and it ain't working too well.
yeah. So mentally, I'm going to tell Orta, my food's been messed with, and then So I just want to see, make sure if I can manipulate an object with the force. Do I have to be able to see it?
So, by the way, that's a Constitution saving throw I need you to do when you have a minute. Orta,
I
is there
know.
any? You do notice him choking. It's quite obvious.
The moment I see him choking, the first thing I'm going to do is use the level 2 spell Restoration to end any disease or condition afflicting him, including blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned.
Okay. I need two things to happen. First of all, sure, go ahead and do that, and I'm waiting on your Constitution saving throw.
All right, cool. I was just trying to see if I can pull it out. So I was trying to see if basically if it was poison or not. Also, Constitution. I'm not proficient in Constitution. Is I'm not a fighter. Why would I be proficient in Constitution? I'm a medic. Oh, that's not good. I rolled a 1.
Oh, you rolled
Okay.
a 1. Ding.
Yep.
Oh, I guess I'm dead. Have fun, everybody.
Second.
That's the
Does-
reigning champ of deaths in this thing. You cannot be.
Why is our campaign so cursed with death?
Does the restoration do anything? Is it an important
You do the
question I have to ask?
restoration, and weirdly enough, it does not do anything.
Force pulled the nuts.
Give me 1 second here. I need to roll some stuff real quick.
No
Sorry.
comment on that one. Well,
Give me a minute.
So it's not even an allergic reaction, it's just these nuts. I mean, I'm trying to
teach your
figure out how to-
apprentice to chew before you swallow.
I mean, I do chew, but apparently, one slipped by, and that was enough.
I mean, I'm gonna be trying to sort of basically I'm asking you telepathically how to properly do CPR is the basic situation, and trying to figure out what telepathically I'm talking to you to try and figure out what's going on, what you're choking on.
I mean, I know I'm choking on one of the nuts, correct?
Correct. You take 23 force damage, by the way.
Force 23?
Wow. Well, I'm still alive.
For now.
I'm gonna if I can sort of feel for the whatever's stuck in his throat.
Mm-hmm.
I will mentally show you the picture of the Heimlich.
Yeah. I'm basically trying to recreate the Heimlich, or I'm gonna try to force push or pull the thing out of his throat.
All right. Which one of the two are you doing then?
Oh god. In this situation, what would be the safer option for me?
You want to give me a medicine check, and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I'd like to identify.
You guys can both medicine check it, by the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and identify the better vibe medicine one. That's a 10.
Okay. How about you?
Give me a second. Fixing my hit points. Let's see. Let's put you on a side burner because apparently you're trying to get me killed. Okay, this one.
Rude, not gonna lie.
This one's better. That's 22.
I will let you know I've never done the Heimlich maneuver before, and I'm not trained in medicine.
With
If
the
that
20,
changes things.
with the 22, and you knowing what Orta just told you, yeah, the whole force pulling the offending nut out of your throat is probably the better option.
Yeah, well, that's what I was looking for too. But the thing is, I was trying to see if I actually had to have vision on the object. That was
To pull it on yourself, I would say is probably more difficult than have somebody else do it on you, if that makes any sense. Can
yeah, I would tell him. I would show him I would ask mentally if he can force pull. That would be the best.
Yeah.
the best course of action. And then I'm basically just gonna open up my mouth as wide as I can and just,
While still choking, but yes.
while still choking.
I need you to give me real quick another Constitution check, and Orta, your force pull, please.
Okay, I will
I
let
think
you
it's a
know.
save, right, for force pull?
Well,
Usually.
I'm allowing him to use it on me. I can fail.
No,
Yeah,
that's not
it's an
why. It's more for the
object.
actual difficulty roll for the object, but
Yeah.
I think it's a save, right, for force pull?
Uh,
Let me check here. I
the
have it right
target
here.
must make a strength saving throw, and
Okay.
objects automatically fail this. On a failed save, the creature object moves a number of feet in a direction of your choice based on its size. Blah blah blah.
So since the spell itself doesn't quite work with that, what I'm gonna ask you to do here is roll me a spell attack.
Okay. I will let you know for your Constitution saving throw. I have Aura of Presence, which basically lets you add my Wisdom modifier to your saving throw, which is a +3.
Oh, nice. So then that is a 22.
Okay.
I don't know if that would be a minus if it's like setting the DC for me, quote unquote, but
Yep, go for it.
yeah. So spell
I'll take
attack.
that into consideration.
Spell attack is Wisdom plus proficiency. What's my proficiency right now? It's +3. You know what? Let me just double check something, because obviously I gotta do everything I can to make this as easy as possible. I will cast guidance on myself before doing the force push pull, just in case.
Okay, give me 1 minute. I need to double check something then. Is guidance a bonus?
It's an
Or is it a full
action,
action?
but it's an action, but it lasts for 1 minute. And if
Okay,
if I think it'll take too long and it'll make this a more risky situation, then I'll just do the force push or pull.
then you might want to just do the force push or pull, because otherwise he'll have to make an extra Constitution saving throw.
Gotcha. I hate dice. I hate dice. That's an 11.
Okay, so a few things. As
Mm-hmm.
you did make the previous Constitution saving throw, correct? So
The second one I rolled a 22. With
yes,
the
that's the one
prediction.
I'm talking about for sure. So you will only be taking 12 damage this time around.
Oh, geez. Okay.
Um,
I'm not looking very healthy.
yeah, you look like you're about to conk out.
I'll help out the moment I can.
Yeah, so you do. How much did you roll for the pull?
I got an 11 on the force pull.
You got an 11 on the force pull. Unfortunately,
Not a good roll.
that is not enough. It feels like it's really wedged in there, and you can feel yourself grabbing that nut with your mind, but when you yank, it just does not budge, oddly enough.
Can I?
Can I heal myself?
Sure.
And then could I like glance around the room to see if I notice anyone?
Give me a perception check.
16 on the perception.
Yeah, you don't notice someone. You notice a lot of someone's, because what you're doing right now is kind of noisy, and everybody's kind of looking
Somebody's
in your
choking
direction.
right now.
Yeah, so
Well,
everybody's kind of
I'm-
looking in your general
I'm
direction.
trying not to obviously, I'm
Not trying to make
choking,
a
but
scene, but
I'm trying not to make a scene. I mean, I'm pretty sure, in my Jedi training, I've been, worse situations than this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, I mean,
Well,
it's obvious.
if you're
I'm-
trying
I'm-
not to cause a scene, I will ask you to roll for that though, because that is actually somewhat pertinent here to the situation. So give me 1 second. Can you give me give me a performance to like pretend like everything's normal. You know what I'm saying? Or a deception. I'll allow either or.
I think I have an idea.
That would be a 16.
So you're not like choking and screeching to the point where everybody like shuts up, drops what they're doing, and looks at you. You know what I mean? Or coughing to the point where everybody looks at you. But it's still enough for at least the table of the Sith, the bartender, and then maybe like one or two of the guards to kind of look in your direction. The rest are still yelling and playing their cards game, and it's not like record scratch, everything stops. But you do notice maybe half the room is looking at you. Probably because they were already looking at you in the first place, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna hit him with a heal real quick to sort of keep him up.
Okay. Give it the heal.
I'm healing myself as well.
Okay, give me both
But-
of your heals then.
After that,
Well,
I'm going to pick him up.
one thing at a time though. First the heals, if you don't mind.
7
Sorry, just
plus
roll
3,
20
10
being-
hit points from me.
Okay.
Well, all right, give me a second. Roll 20 is being an asshole.
Take all the time you need. No rush.
Let's see, second level.
You know, while you guys are healing up real quick, Mibble, Only.
Mibble's still in his room.
All right, how's the coffee over there?
I'm going to
Lackluster,
use
but it's
second
coffee.
level.
And Mibble's going to continue reading his weapons book.
All right, that's another 2 hours on it. Only, what are you up to in the meantime?
I mean, Only was hanging out near the cantina trying to find something to do nearby that wasn't like a, hey, I'm just hovering,
Mm-hmm.
and waiting for some sort of commotion because she was kind of there in case shit went down.
Well, considering he rolled a 16 on trying to keep it together, do you like peek into the cantina just to see how everything's going, or do you kind of just hover outside?
Not going to. She's not really hovering. She's like, if there's a shop nearby or like a place that's selling coffee, like a coffee stand or something like that. She's like that type of hovering.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're not actually like looking into the cantina or anything.
No, unfortunately. So I am
Yep.
no help unless I see people like, oh my god, there's a fight. No, yeah, she's
Right.
not moving.
Okay, got you.
So I just
Or you
wanted
know,
to
a
make
ping
sure.
on our comms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so 9 plus
Not
4,
from
plus I have to
today.
use my wisdom, so that's 13. Plus I have Disciple of Life, so that's 15, 17. So second level heal, I healed myself for 17 points.
And I healed
Very
you
nice.
for
That's
10.
27 heal total.
Yeah. And then after that, I'm going to pick him up and I'm going to sort of telepathically speak to the barkeeper and be like, well, where is the med bay? I need to get to the med bay.
So before you take him out, Kodav, I need one last Constitution saving throw.
Okay.
You still have the +3 from my aura.
All right, cool. I just want to make sure I add my hit points before I roll it.
Yep.
And
for
roll 20 is still being a jerk. Why? 20.
sure. I know it's bad these days, man.
It's like
It's those days solar flays.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time loading the character creator on Star Wars 5e right now for some reason.
33. Okay, cool.
I just can't seem to find my
Um,
characters, which is not because they're not there. It's just the character creator's glitching out.
That's why I have mine in roll 20.
Oh, I have them everywhere. It's not that. I'm just like, this is the fastest way, and I can't use it right now. But
Okay,
it's
so
not
plus
bad.
4.
You
So
have
that's a 17 with the plus 4.
okay. Give me a minute. I have to roll some damage.
Just so
Funny enough, I rolled you 27 damage exactly, so you're right back to where you were before the healing.
Jesus.
But on that note, you do manage. You do manage to hold in there long enough, right? That Orta is able to ask the barkeep where the med bay is, and the guy points, you know, to the door from the cantina. Says, "Out that way, hit a left. The 2 guards are by the door."
Yeah, I'm gonna immediately head out the door and head towards the med bay.
Okay. The moment you step outside of the cantina, Kodav, you can actually feel your throat kind of relaxing, and you're actually able to swallow the nut. And you're able to breathe just fine now.
Wait, so so was that with
Forced
so I
trickery.
didn't get a save for that if that was a force thing?
Yep, as soon as you've exited the cantina, you are A-okay.
I am still going to act like I'm in duress since there is a room full of witnesses that I was choking.
Yep.
You are clearly in worse for wear. I'm still heading towards the med.
Oh yeah,
no
you're
matter
still
what.
you're still, you know, whatever for a Trogruta passes as white as a sheet. You're still probably coughing and gasping as your body's like getting accustomed to having air go down its pipes again. So it doesn't change the fact that you're worse for wear, but you're no longer dying, quote unquote, if that makes sense.
And
Yeah, you're being ran off to the med bay by Orta, and you know what? How about you guys? What do you guys think? If we take the short break now, we'll go back to Mibble and Only a little bit before, and then we'll rotate back to Kodev and
Seems like
Orta.
a good
Well,
Mibble's
actually,
just gonna
Only
be
you
in-
probably see them exiting the cantina, so you'd probably join up
Which I'd
with
probably
them.
join up with them. Yeah.
Bibble's
But-
just gonna be in his room reading his weapons books until he gets a notification of something.
Yeah, Mibble's just chilling until he gets a call.
Everything's
Yeah.
I'm not
fine.
on call right now.
He's
Ain't nothing to
oblivious to
fix.
everything else.
This ain't my
Lo-fi.
space station. I don't have to fix anything here.
Yep.
just imagining Mibble as like
Right.
the lo-fi girl or lo-fi guy, just reading a book with like headphones on the rabbit ears.
Right. Yeah, we'll go on
More
break
like
and we'll be right
earbuds, I
back.
think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. As soon as I can get this thing to put us on break. Give me 1 second.
This is awkward.
Crazy, crazy weather, huh? Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
On
Hear
the
about
space
those,
station, the weather is absolutely crazy on the space station. Hey, we're
Yeah.
about to see inside the med bay. I'm kind of excited about that.
Mhm.
Because they've been awfully suspicious about what they have under wraps there.
Forever in your heart. Forever in your heart. I can hear your heart. Forever in your heartbeat. I can hear your heart.
3, 2, 1.
Oh no. I have a popcorn kernel stuck in my throat. Oh dear.
There we go. And we are back. Please don't choke after one of your characters. Or one of the characters almost choked. We don't need the players choking too. Please no.
It's just like a kernel shell. It's stuck in my throat. It's annoying more than anything.
You know what? Better kernel than right too soon, Sorrow. But yeah. So for those of you who just
You
joined
don't want
us,
me choking on these nuts?
right? For those who just joined us, Kodav was enjoying a nice meal at the cantina here, where there was also a group of Sith and a group of guards that were enjoying their respective meals and drinks. And Kodav started choking on his food and nearly died choking on his food.
I got
he-
forced shenaniganed.
Yeah, he may or may not have gotten for shenanigan. We're not too sure yet. Nothing's been proved yet. But we do suspect
Lot
it
of
as soon as you guys
circumstantial evidence.
yeah, and as soon as you guys left the cantina, obviously he was not choking anymore. So that was a bit of an indicator, we can say, that something was afoot. And so yeah, Only, you saw them both exit the cantina in a bit of a rush, Orta carrying Kodav, who's looking fairly worse for wear at this point. Headed towards the med bay, I believe it was. Yes.
Yep, we're using the force shenanigans as an opportunity to get into the med bay.
Correct, to attempt to get into the med bay. So I'm assuming the three of you charged towards the med bay, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Me carrying a person who's still pale and coughing.
Correct.
Yes.
You guys get to the med bay carrying, of course, Kodav like that, and as you get there, both of the guards kind of look at you and basically ask you, oh, what are you doing here? I said the med bay was off limit.
This man is currently in the process of.
You said unless medically necessary.
This man is currently in need of medical attention.
Fine, give me a minute. He hits the intercom button, right? Doc, we got somebody out there. Seems like he's choking on something. And he gets back an answer that sounds muffled to you guys, of course, as the intercom kind of gives the old garbled answer, which the guard seems to understand somehow. And he kind of turns back to you guys and says, fine,
No, I understand.
patient
you.
goes in, the rest of you stay out.
I speak subway conductor, so we're good.
Oh, you're good.
I don't think he's in a state to walk. Are you gonna carry him?
Actually, no. The doc will be out with the stretcher in a minute. As the door does open and you see an Ithorian come out, followed by, flanked by a pair of assistants, humans who will put you on a stretcher, Kodav, as you will be brought into the infirmary here.
As he is going in,
Mm-hmm. Or being brought in, should we say? But yes.
yes, as he is being brought in, I am going to sort of tap him on the shoulder and be like, "Stay strong. We'll be waiting out here for you."
Mm-hmm.
I will use the level 2 spell Force Enlightenment to give him advantage on Constitution checks and 2d6 temporary hit points.
Nice.
Oh.
See that confidence and trust reigns here.
Do I roll? Do I roll a 2d6 or do you?
If you wanna, I'm fine with that.
Let's see.
But more so just, make sure,
Six.
that we got your back. And that'll last for an hour.
Okay, very good. So on that note, you guys do get dragged out, right, to the outside of the or not dragged out necessarily, but kind of gently pushed back by the two guards. As again, Kodav, you are brought into the infirmary. The doors do shut and hiss shut behind you. As the doc kind of looks you over and asks you what happened to you as he pulls out a med scanner.
so I'm gonna say I seem to have had some sort of allergic reaction to the nuts in my food.
So he runs the scanner, right? And he kind of garbles in Ithorian, saying, "Strange. We do not detect any sign of an anaphylactic reactions in your bloodstream."
I would presume that there's soft tissue damage in my throat.
He runs the scanner on your throat. He says, "Yes, but no sign of inflammation. This is most odd." If anything, these lesions look almost physical.
There was no one choking me. I was in a room full of people, and I'm like choking. I'm like, gasping and, talking very raspy.
Well, this makes hardly any sense. Perhaps a further blood test might reveal something. As he'll approach you with a set of needles.
Are they empty or full?
Yes. No, empty.
Okay.
He's not trying to inject you with anything. You're fine. Again, I love the state of paranoia that everybody's in right now, but no, he's actually doing his job.
It's like I'm a doctor, and if he's gonna take blood, I want to make sure he's not coming at me with a full needle.
Poison or something. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Because
Considering the state of confidence that reigns on the station right now. All right, very well. So that being said, yeah, you will most definitely at this point be able to, you'll most definitely be able to give him a little bit of your blood, which he'll run through a couple of scanning machines and whatnot. And he comes back to you and he says, "No, I'm categoric. There is absolutely no sign of an allergic reaction or poisoning in your bloodstream."
Thanks, Orda.
Yeah. And it's like I'm not concerned about him thinking I'm lying, because literally there's a room full of witnesses, and I'm pretty sure there's CCTV in the cantina. So it's it's like, hey, look, he's choking. It's like,
Not to
And when you
mention the present damages on your body.
Well,
Yeah.
and when you mention that he does, a few things where he'll ask security for the footage of the incident, review the footage, and say, "Indeed, it seems like nobody's gotten even near you." And then he calls up the cantina, the barkeep, the Godel barkeep of the cantina here, and he asks them what kind of nuts they put in the food, and upon hearing it, he says, "That's weird. They don't usually cause allergic reactions. Especially not in Togrutas. This is, again, most odd. I'm afraid I don't really understand what happened to you."
well, it looks
But
like
you do
that-
have signs of damage in your throat at the very least here. He'll give you a couple of well, they look like, I won't say, cough candies, but some form of medication here that he says these should help at least heal your throat a little bit.
While he's doing that, I'm trying to basically, I'm trying to see if there's anything out of whack in the med bay.
Okay.
And just from from a physician's standpoint,
Mhm.
I'm trying to see is there something weird on one of the med screens? Is there just is there an errant body somewhere tucked in a corner with a toe tag? What is happening in the med bay
That it would be off
limits?
limits. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me a perception check. And then give me a medicine check. I'm gonna need both of those there.
All right, so let's see. So medicine I am proficient with because I'm a doctor. So that is, and I have the +3 still, right? Because it lasts an hour.
Yes, correct, I believe.
Oh, so then that is a 22.
Okay. For the perception or the medicine?
That's the medicine.
Okay, give me the perception check, please.
The perception. That's 17.
Okay. You look around and there isn't that much going on around here that how do I put this? Seems out of the ordinary. The tools look clean. The tanks look fine. The tables are fine. There's nobody in a containment field or anything suggesting contagion or anything. Actually, in fact, you're the only patient there.
Okay, not odd.
Nope, no blood stains on the floor on a table, like nothing that would be the sign of a recent operation or anything. No extra like stim calf cup or something that would indicate that somebody's hiding here that shouldn't be here. It's kind of difficult to say, but it doesn't really look like anything is out of the ordinary, unfortunately.
Damn, I rolled too low on perception. Like I'll be a little bit upset, but not visibly.
Mhm.
And it's just me, the doc, and you said he had 2 human assistants.
Very much correct.
Okay. And the human assistants, they don't look like, weird, splotchy,
Nope. They look perfectly normal assistant
Weird-
doctors or nurses.
weird stitching along the cranial cavity.
Nope. Brains look normal, heads look normal, clothing looks normal, tools look normal. Their clothing aren't even frumbled. It does not look like they were hastily changed into or anything like that.
Yeah, and then there's got to be something in the system that's accessible to the med bay, which is why it's off limits. Interesting. Yeah. And I don't have reason to stay in the med bay because I'm now better. I might have to lop off someone's hand. No, sorry. Intrusive thoughts.
Yeah, it's the Sith,
Already had that
the
thought.
Sith thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, hold still. This is gonna be a lot worse. Here comes the axe.
Well, no, because I'm not saying it out of malice. So
I know,
there's no dark side. I'm just being overly logical and practical about it. It's like if we need to reattach a hand, we'll have longer access to the med bay.
Hold still. I'll get your hand.
Yeah, so I guess they'll eject me from the med bay whenever the doc gives me the bill of health.
Okay, yeah, they give you the bill of health. They don't even bill you. They actually say that healthcare is free on the station, and they let you out. And only Orta, you see Kodav exit in perfect shape. Perhaps if you had a companion capable of hacking, you might have figured something out, but right now, no.
Did they refill
Sorry,
his health?
we'll plan the next time he chokes for.
Let's just make sure
Yeah,
Mibble is
yeah.
the next one to choke,
Yep.
I know, right?
Okay, quick, someone hold Nibble still. I'll cut off his hand, and then he can go in there and do what he needs to do. It's fine.
Right.
No!
Maybe we'll go for a flip because we need him to hack still.
So Mibble, we're gonna need to pay you overtime, and we can't say why.
Just hold still.
Nibble rhymes.
Right.
Bunny instinct kicks in.
Right.
Yeah, so like as I'm being I guess walked back to our quarters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna telepathically talk to Orta and tell him that there's nothing out of place in the med bay. If it's off limits, there might be something on one or more systems in the med bay that has low security but has questionable information. That's the only reason I can think of that they would deny us access to the med bay unconditionally.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And are you feeling better? Are they able to figure out what happened?
I suspect one of our Sith friends got the better of me. I do not take kindly to that, and I feel some shame in not being better prepared to fend off a Sith attack. I'll have
Did you
to.
take the 2 throat pills he gave you, by the way?
I wouldn't have a reason to not take the throat pills, so yes.
You
And
take the
suddenly you're
throat.
choking on one of them. Sorry.
You take the 2 throat pills and you feel your throat get tight again. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Actually, no. You take the 2 throat pills and you instantly feel a hell of a lot better, as you'll heal 30 points of health.
Oh wow. So that is. Yeah, 2, but I have temp HP. 8. Cool. But yeah, so we definitely need to get Mebble into the med bay somehow, or get the doctor out of the med bay, or possibly find a terminal that's not secured and get Mebble access to it.
Very much so, yeah.
Right. We'll keep it in mind.
Okay.
I'm just gonna meditate in our room.
Yep.
Mhm.
You rest up in
Yeah.
the room, and as you guys are all kind of resting and taking it easy, you hear a buzz on the room's intercom, which is then repeated.
Fuck it, I'll answer it.
Okay. You open the
With
door
that kind of
and
attitude as well.
right, and you open it aggressively. You or as aggressively as an automated door can slam open, really, or slide open, should I say? And then
Look, I
standing
can
in the
just
hall.
stand menacingly on the other side, right?
Oh, 100%. And as you do so, you see one of those station attendants kind of recoil a little bit at your imposing, angry 5 foot, what, 6? 4? Yeah, 5'4" frame.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't write down here.
which is
Well,
always funny
5'4".
to see somebody about about half a foot to a foot taller than you just recoil in fear the moment they see you.
I mean, the Wookiees are all taller than me.
Right? But yeah, they kind of recoil a little bit. They kind of like start talking over themselves, as the station attendant's basically like, oh, I'm so sorry. I did not mean to bother any of you all, but the authorities of Typhera, the council, has sent 3 members to represent. Well, not to represent, but to, at the very least, listen to the offer of the Republic.
Right. Wait for pause. Pause just long enough that it's not quite awkward, but there's definitely the information linger as if I'm waiting for something else. And where are we to meet them?
There is a conference room. I'm sorry. There's a conference room down the hall on your left.
And they expect us to. It's in like what time is it, by the way?
Considering your arrival time, everything you guys have done and everything, it's probably like mid-afternoon.
Okay. So it's not quite into the evening.
No, not yet.
All right. I'll let the others know. I'll just slam the door shut. Well, push the button aggressively as it slams shut on its own.
Right. Which is it's the usual. Like you slam the thing and it just like hiss close like ever so
the drama
slowly.
we want.
Yeah.
The entire time I'm just standing there like holding the button like it's gonna close faster if I do that.
Yeah.
With the same stare.
Not the drama you want, but it's the drama you'll get. But yes,
We'll make
on
our
that
own.
note, right. But yeah, so on that note, the door does close shut as you guys are left to talk to each other real quick.
And I'll just walk back in the room and inform the others that there's the council, 3 members of the council are waiting for us in a conference room.
All right. So do we?
May
actually
I
have an-
repeat? Ask, waiting to see what offer the Republic is making, or willing to
She
make.
said what she said.
Mhm.
They're waiting.
No,
for
but that's
us.
just a slightly important detail.
I know.
But
I
yes,
mean,
Not a detail she
we-
cared about.
Oh,
We've
so she
been
didn't
giving
mention that.
them-
Okay, so that was not mentioned then. Okay, very
No,
good.
she said they
Never
are
mind
waiting
me.
for us, and that's the
Okay.
end of the statement she said.
Never mind me then. I said nothing. I did not know if that was you, the player, forgetting, or your character
No.
not saying it by choice. My apologies. All right, moving on.
We've been given orders as to what to offer the the council here, correct?
No, you have not.
Oh, we're supposed to just come up with an offer.
Or at the very least, see what they want and then report back. But you were not briefed
Gotcha.
just yet. If anything, they were probably expecting you guys to have like a day or two to kind of snoop around before this would happen. But you're clearly not being given the time of day here.
Interesting.
Almost like they
kinda
want you
fun-
off the station ASAP.
It's kind of funny how that happens right after someone tries to force choke me to death.
Right?
So how do you guys want to play this? I'm not so good at negotiating. Don't really do the talky talk. But I am good at making people uncomfortable.
Well, we can't be the aggressors because then we'll lose our place at the table. Our
I mean,
best.
there's ways of being aggressive without being the aggressors. It's an art.
It's an art.
Oh man. Well, I guess our best bet is to go see if the Sith have made an offer and see if it's something that's reasonably countered. Or at least see if we can stall for time.
I guess I should be a little more specific. They're waiting to hear your offer. Our offer. An offer.
I see.
So I don't think we're given the time to understand what everyone else is bringing to the table.
You can still ask.
But they're there now waiting for us. So I don't know how long we want to make them wait. I heard that's a power play.
If you guys look outside, you'll see the attendant still like nervously pacing in front of the like through like one of the cameras or whatever. You'll see them like kind of pacing nervously outside.
Hmm. Well, I guess we should at least do something about the porter who's waiting for us to give them some sort of response.
Oh, I think they're waiting to take us to the conference room.
Well, you had an opportunity to look at their history order. Is there anything that would seem that they need historically that we can potentially use as a bargaining chip?
Oh, perspectives. From my research, I wasn't able to spot very much. The only thing I was really able to identify is the planet's history as an agricultural planet.
Did your readings make it seem as though they are struggling with feeding the populace?
I don't imagine they would start going about a plan like they have started with that issue in mind, but I'm not sure.
Well,
Considering their main export is food, highly doubtful that they have a problem feeding their population.
oh, so we know the main export is food, is some
food,
sort of
yeah.
crop.
Mostly grain, yeah.
Okay,
Right.
cool, gotcha.
Okay.
Well, again,
So
since they've separated, they have no longer been exporting barley specifically.
Gotcha. Well, if they're exporting food crops, they're probably, I mean, they're probably in need of something that can either assist with that, or potentially they could be short on a whole other resource altogether. be it construction or metals of some kind, possibly power cells, considering the amount of agriculture that they have to produce. Um, there's only so much they can do with, you know, solar and nuclear.
Or did
Right.
you look up what their main imports are?
I imagine I would have. What might their main imports be, Bill?
So, funny
From my
enough,
research.
yeah, mostly tech.
They've been importing a lot of tech recently.
Not even recently, just in general.
In
They would usually be importing tech. So anything from machinery to electronics to blaster pistols and blaster parts and weapon parts, but nothing that seems out of the ordinary for a whole ass planet, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they're overly gearing like they're prepping for war or any of that stuff. It's very normal, average, we don't produce tech levels of import.
Gotcha.
I mean, there's always the avenue of if you have a lot of tech, you need someone who either is knowledgeable, can train others about it, or repair it.
Right.
It's straight up middle. Am I wrong?
Uh,
I feel like that'd be in demand.
So Mibble, how would you feel about working 2 shifts, one for the Republic and one for Cyphero while you're at it?
not happening.
Right.
Well, more of a confirmation that that's something in demand. Usually not
Yeah.
highly staffed.
Tech is definitely, yes, tech and techies and engineers are definitely in demand.
But if they do have a problem, Nibble may be able to take a look at it and see what's going on.
Right.
I guess.
If you guys look at the, how do I put this? Any hiring, job offers, I guess you could say, for engineers and techs, you'll notice that they have a very, very strict vetting process. Like, abnormally strict.
Well, that's suspicious.
Well, I mean, they're borderline xenophobic. So
They
I
do
mean,
have a particularly class-based society in the worst kind of way.
But I'm not sure how much longer that attendant's gonna wait before they start ringing our doorbell again.
Yeah, we
Right.
probably do just have to leave.
So I don't know what y'all want to offer them.
well, we should at least hear what they have to say, and then see if we can come up with something as a stall tactic.
Right.
And depending on who's going to be at this console, you know, I know you said there is one Vortex on the board.
Mhm.
Perhaps we can somehow use that into our favor.
That
The
is a
only thing we
possibility.
probably want to figure out before we walk in there is who we want to present as the lead delegate.
That's true.
Not gonna be Mibble.
And it was like, not me.
I've never been the greatest with words, so I don't think it would be me
I-
either.
Might not be the strong with words, but I do know how to put on a performance.
Well, I can negotiate, and if push comes to shove, I can somewhat manipulate people's opinion in my favor.
The good old Jedi mind tricks, we love them.
Well, it sounds like you might be best equipped to do that, since I have a tendency to intimidate more than I do persuade.
Well, let's go see what we can find out.
Let's
Okay.
I'm going to slam the door open again as much as I can.
You're like trying to pull it out open faster, and you just hear the servos whining as you're like trying to force the door open faster than it wants to go.
Or a porter. You're just gonna give him like
I can-
agile.
Look at Mel, but like, you gotta do something about these doors. They open too slowly. With patience for this.
Sure, we'll take a look at it. Yes, I'm assuming the Republic, the Republic's negotiation party. You're ready to go and talk to the council. Yes. Or
Yes.
the council representative, should I say? I'm so sorry. Okay, right this way, please. Then he'll walk away, carrying you guys along. Well, carrying you guys, having you guys follow him along, as he'll let you guys into this very well decorated, almost posh conference room. It's got that nice big hexagonal, table in the middle, plush red carpet, multiple trays with like drinks and food and whatnot. All that opulence you were expecting to your quarters, it's here in the conference room.
So as we are moving along for this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do my best to present Only as if they are hired muscle.
Okay.
I would also, like, as we're walking down the hallway, I'll give Kodev a pat on the back and use Force Enlightenment again, except this time in the form of Splendor, which gives advantage on Charisma checks.
Nice. Okay.
Mibble is just gonna take like notice of all cameras and things like access terminals and such, just to make a mental note of where stuff is.
So, funny enough, in the hallway on the way here, of course, there were cameras, and they're fairly easy to spot. But there's enough of them that there wasn't much of an angle to like sneak by them. When you get into the room itself, there are a pair of cameras. Again, they're obvious. They're pretty obvious. It's not like they're trying to hide them. And on the far
I
wall,
have something against cameras that I can use. So
yeah, and on the far wall, you'll see there is a communications terminal. When you enter, you'll notice three, like I said, of those 10 council members. One of them is the Vratix, so one of them is the insectoid. And the other two are both human, one a male, one a female, and you notice they're both dressed in what looks like corporate uniforms.
Mm.
Each having a different color, like they're two different companies.
Mm.
Interesting.
And as you enter, right, the Vratix chitters at you, and the human female nods and says, "Well, as my esteemed colleague here just said, we are indeed quite happy to welcome the High Republic, should I call it, but the Republic's diplomatic team here to our space station of Cyphera. Welcome, welcome. Please do come in, make yourselves at ease, have a drink, have some food, please sit."
I want to insight check that statement. How happy are they to actually welcome us?
Go for it. Gimme.
Hey, that's actually not a bad roll for her. 19.
The three, you can see the Vratix is probably the happiest of the three to see you. The other two are just putting on a show, as is dictated by politeness.
Mm-hmm. Got a feeling.
Mibble just takes a seat.
So that means when I'm putting my attention on people, because I'm going to be standing behind the group, anyone who sits down, as the air of hired muscle, to kind of put on that air of hired muscle. The Radix is really not going to get a lot of my attention. It's mostly going to be focused on the other two. Like,
Okay.
She just, whenever they talk, she just looks at them and just stares.
Very good.
It's an open stare.
Orta and Kodav, do you guys do anything here?
Um,
I'm gonna take a seat. I'm gonna take a seat. Thank them.
Oh, it is us who are thankful. To think the Republic would send 2 Jedi Masters to conduct negotiations, we're quite honored.
Despite my appearances, I am not the council.
Well, either way, we are honored to have the presence of such shrewd negotiators. I'm very sorry to have heard of the incident that afflicted you at the cantina.
Uh, Apparently, something was not to my constitution, but your physician was more than attentive. So,
Well, I'm glad they took good care of you, and please rest assured that the barkeeper will lose his job and be properly reprimanded for causing any form of harm to our most dignified envoys.
please, uh, that is unnecessary. I doubt very seriously that um, he knew that whatever was being served would, not be um, not be acceptable to my physiology. Um, I am not, you know, I should have known better as a physician myself to make sure that I wasn't going to have some sort of allergic reaction to your native foods. It was my complacency and lack of awareness. So I would not want him to suffer for my ignorance.
Well, this is most generous of you, of him simply failing to be aware of a Togruta's constitution and serving you a product that was clearly allergic to you, or that you were clearly allergic to, should I say, is unacceptable on our side. He will be chastised either way.
As long as some leniency is maintained. Like
Very
I said,
well.
he was the most agreeable person. I doubt that he did anything with malicious intent.
Very well, as per your recommendation, Jedi Master, we will make sure that while he will lose his employment, he will not be jailed.
Right.
Since you are cordial enough to not press charges, we do appreciate.
Yeah, I'm definitely not pressing charges, and I'm not going to push him not getting fired. Sadly, sadly, he's a sacrificial lamb.
Right. On that note, they'll pull out some data pads and they'll look at you all and say, "Well, what say you all we get down to business?" Yes.
Indeed.
Very good. Well. As I'm sure you're all aware, due to the recently changing technological landscape here on Typhera, we are unfortunately unable to currently continue with our previous agreed upon percentages and margins with the Republic. Unfortunately, that deal is no longer profitable to us. And even being a member of the Republic, unfortunately, has proven itself to be, well, the less than desirable option.
Have we done something to cause events?
Oh, no, I assure you, it's simply that the previous deal was highly unsatisfactory, and as I'm sure you can understand, the economic and political landscapes having changed, once more, that deal is no longer profitable to us. It either needs to be renegotiated and then renewed, or unfortunately terminated altogether to the profit of our association with a more profitable organization. Or should I say political organization?
No. Out of curiosity, do we know what the previous contract was? I'm presuming they would have told us. We would have had access to that.
Yeah, but long story short, it looked like a bunch of accounting numbers to you, and it didn't mean much. And from what you are able to tell, and I'm telling you this, like, even if you roll like a nat 30, all right, like, this is just to say, the deal wasn't that bad. It was actually pretty fucking standard for any form of deal with the Republic. This is a power play from them. It's not something the Republic did wrong.
Gotcha. That's what I wanted to see if I can.
Long story short, what you're able to figure out is that this is basically them realizing, hey, we're in a position of power to negotiate now. We're going to take a bigger piece of the cake. The problem is you have no idea what puts them in that position of power when it comes to negotiating.
You know, how far away are they from us?
Sitting across the table from you, probably a good 10, 15 feet away tops.
All right. Let's see. So,
Again, like I said,
Alright.
it's a hexagonal shaped table, and there's a holo projector in the middle to show off like statistics, graphs, that kind of stuff.
all right. So first things first.
Probably
I'm not
things
gonna
Mibble would
do-
understand.
Right?
I'm not gonna do any Jedi mind tricks, but I am proficient in persuasion, and I am gonna take advantage of the advantage of charisma checks that I have currently.
Okay.
So I am going to. So it's obvious that the two humans look like they're from differing factions in some respect, correct?
Correct.
So, well, it does displease me that we are not able to come to some sort of agreement with our standardized contracts. Perhaps, if we were enlightened as to what we can do to put us back in your good graces.
Oh, that's quite easy, actually. Here. And they give you a data chit, and on it, you see the list of demands that they've made.
Is it like some unreasonable bullshit?
Oh, they're very much outrageous. It includes and is not limited to, but some of the main points are the Republic funding and leaving a whole battle fleet to protect the planet at all times.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Like,
pay us our own personal defense fleet. Like, it's complete bullshit.
Even with my limited knowledge of Star Wars lore, I know the senators would never go for that. That's not gonna happen.
That's not gonna happen. The dark side ain't gonna do that either.
Those cheap fucks would never do something like that.
So, do you actually like laugh when you read those demands, or like how do you react?
I'm not gonna laugh. But I'm trying. It's weird because it's like it's obvious, they're asking for unreasonable things. But I don't want to because I don't really have a skin in the game. Like them and their super weapon or whatever, doesn't affect me, personally, unless they're gonna aim it at my home planet and then
And then
they
some,
may-
yeah.
and then they might accidentally lose their heads.
I get it.
Nibble-
Yes, Mibble?
Mibble would like to ask them, what is the other group offering them right now?
So as you say that, they kind of look at you and smile. They say, oh, funny you would mention this. The other interested party has actually already agreed to the vast majority of these demands, including that of the fleet, funny enough.
I'll insight check that.
Go for
Yeah,
it.
I'll
same.
believe that for a freaking
Yeah,
second.
I want
I can buy him that for not for $1.
Okay, that's not
Yeah,
bad.
I'll do an
That's gonna be a
insight
dirty
too.
20.
I got a 15.
I got a
I rolled
17.
I got a nat 20
Woo!
For what?
for
Insight checks.
for
No.
insight.
Total of the
Why?
nat 20.
Oh, with the +3, that's gonna be a 27 on the nat 20.
So, weirdly enough, as far as you all can tell, they do seem to be saying the truth. And yes, that's despite the 27.
I am going to ask, not to too blatantly cast aspersions upon our esteemed competition, but um, have the Sith negotiation given you any assurances or any proof that they can fulfill your request in any means?
Actually, funny enough that you would mention, but yes. And you'll see them hit a button, and you'll see the hologram of an entire Sith battle fleet show up on the hologram.
Is it like in orbit?
It's not in orbit here, but you can tell that it's a whole ass Sith battle fleet. You won't see it if you look out the window, basically, because it would be taken as an act of aggression. But there's no doubt that they do have a battle fleet nearby.
What else is on the data chip that they're asking for?
The rest is mostly percentages, profit margins, stuff like that. It's all economic stuff.
You know, I'm a layman when it comes to these numbers, but as far as the margins are concerned, which of your companies would gain the most from this? I'm just trying to figure out how the centers are going to respond when we go back to them with request for meeting this offer.
When you say that, they both look at each other and then they look back at you, and almost in sync, they both say, "We all stand to gain quite largely from this increase in percentages." Yes, they flat out admit it. They're not even hiding it.
And what of the Vardix? What do your people stand to gain from this?
They smile and they say, "We have always lived..." Well, they chitter in their language, and then the lady once more translates, saying, "We have always lived on Typhera. We will continue to live on Typhera. We cultivate the soil. We toil. And then we are born anew, only to toil and cultivate again." If anything, can you give me an insight check real quick?
Sure. Give me a second.
You can, all of you can give me that, by the way. This goes for everyone.
Not the 20.
That's a
but
4
on the
this time.
same-
14.
Hard to
so
read
this-
Bugman.
Can my dice
Uh,
roll above a 10, please?
That's
I got
illegal.
a 15.
Okay.
4, 18 plus 3, 21.
Okay. You actually figure out as that if they're able to make demands that are this outrageous, and if the Sith are willing to give in to those demands, especially the Sith of all people, either what they've discovered is revolutionary and will forever change the landscape of the galaxy, or this is the biggest bluff that has ever been pulled, and it has managed to pull the wool over both the both Imperial intelligence and the Republic's, CIS, which is Central Intelligence Section, but yeah.
All right, and
Which
All right.
almost leaves you to wonder what the hell they actually, came up with tech-wise.
all
An
right, give me a second
agricultural
here.
planet, no less.
Correct.
I know. I'm like,
There's definitely something that doesn't quite add up.
The math ain't napping, bro.
the math ain't mathing.
Though, funny enough, I have actually given you guys enough hints that you could technically figure out exactly what's going on, but I'm not going to go any further. I mean, you guys as players probably have an idea, but character-wise, it's a little tougher.
Mm-hmm. there's leaps that I won't make as a character given where and how
Yes.
she grew up. So
But you guys as players have an idea already, I'm sure.
Yeah. Do I have an idea if the human representatives are hostile towards me?
They are not. They're very much indifferent. As far as they're concerned, it doesn't matter jack crap which side takes it. They're just looking for profit.
All right. Who looks to be the? I'm presuming since they're human, they both look similarly in age.
I give or take a couple.
All right. I'm just gonna go for the guy on the right, and I'm going to use affect mind
Okay.
because he's within 30 feet of me. It is an action. Basically, I choose a target within range that isn't hostile towards me. The target must make a wisdom save on a failed save. I already have. Okay, no, it's just the.
it doesn't do what
It's
you want it
just the-
to.
Yeah, it's just the advantage. Okay, I misread the spell. Okay. Okay, I was misreading that one. I
I've
already
read it
have the
before, and
advantage.
it disappoints me because it's not what you want it to be.
Okay, that's my fault for misreading that. So I still have. So then I'm going to go, with an ask as heavy as this, even with the Sith already agreeing to, meet your demands. The senators are going to be very reluctant to give this request any credence unless we have some sort of assurances that what you are um, requesting is worth our while.
When you say that, they both lift an eyebrow and chuckle and look at each other and look back to you. And they say, "Well, considering the Sith already had figured out what advancements we had made here, I'm surprised Republic intelligence wasn't up to snuff. Especially considering you've already been provided with no less than 2 samples of our newest technology."
I'm gonna presume he's talking about that weird medicine pill that I was given before. Because that's the only 2 samples of something that we've been given since we stepped foot on this space station.
Nah, bro, it's these nuts.
It's these nuts.
It's the nuts. The nuts were the sample. It's poison tech. No, I'm kidding. All right.
With that statement, I'm more look at the whatever delegate was talking and be like, maybe we're just a little bit more respectful of your privacy. Didn't feel the need to dig into things.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but I mean, let's stop kidding ourselves. This is international politics. Spying is part of the game.
Just dead stare.
Plus, she smiles and she says, "Let's be real here for 1 minute. I don't know why they sent such junior diplomats here, but quite frankly, it's bordering on the insulting. After all, please do understand that." And at this point, she smiles and she says, "A product such as ours could very easily revolutionize the galaxy. The Sith has seen it. Clearly, the Republic hasn't, and I was expecting that you'd at least have the intelligence network to figure this out, because if you didn't, how are you going to even ever, keep an eye on the Sith to make sure that they never, turn hostile or become a danger to my planet? Well, our planet," she says, looking at her 2 colleagues.
Mm,
Quite frankly, I think the Republic so far has made a very poor impression of itself.
The intelligence that we were given is basically there is citing some sort of super weapon, correct?
Well, super weapon, super tech of some kind. Again, they weren't too sure what happened, what was
Something
going on.
revolutionary.
Yeah. So the pills that I took earlier, did I feel like, any other side effects, or did
Nope.
it
It
feel
just
like,
purely mended your throat. Right up.
did-
Physical trauma, be gone.
was it medically out of the ordinary?
It was a lot faster than what you've observed with Kolto. And clearly of a smaller quantity.
Hmm. Give me a second here. You're talking about your little miracle drug that the doctor gave me. I'm pretty sure that the Republic scientists can synthesize samples
She
based
laughs when
on.
you say that. Oh, that's quite impossible, I assure you.
Um, I don't know. I mean, we were
I
given
mean,
samples of it.
she smiles.
Unless
Yes, samples that you've consumed in front of our cameras.
Mhm.
If I remember, you did take them while you were on the hallway.
Yeah, I did. Um, and I'm pretty sure that we can easily synthesize from a blood sample for me, unless you wish to hold me until it works its way out of my system.
Oh, I'm afraid this does not exactly penetrate your blood, sadly enough.
Mm. Well, oh God, I want to be such an asshole right now, but I'm not.
I mean, you can go right ahead if you want, but no, it's
My
I-
character
I-
is it.
I'll tell you out of character just for giggles, but like this could not be synthesized off planet. It needs there's something specific to Typhera that requires that permits it,
Mm.
or so you would logically be able to assume from what she's saying, if she's not lying to you, of course.
Mm. God, I don't want to. It's like as soon as it's like, damn, wish I was Sith. I would just force choke him.
Right.
It's like negotiation is so much easier when you're Sith because force choke is always on the table.
I mean, it's not like there's cameras in the room, and if anything bad happens to them, your side automatically loses. But yes.
I mean,
You act like we can't do something about that.
if it's not a weapon and it's just like some miracle cure. I mean, if you lop off a head, pill or no pill, you're pretty much fucked. Well, I'll tell you what.
Actually, you know what? Do you have a lore check real quick that you could give me?
Let's see.
You guys can all give me that lore check, by the way, since you're all
Okay.
present here.
I don't think I have any lore. 'Cause he's.
I have a +4 in my lore.
+4 in your lore? Nice.
10
And
for a total
mean,
of 10.
lore-
So I got a +0.
Lore is int, so I have a whole big whopping 0 on lore.
Is there any, from my cursory research, is there anything that I could like spot in the history that could indicate what helps with the synthesizing of this miracle drug?
That's why I'm asking for the lore check first.
Yeah.
19.
I got an 11.
So, first of all, the reason why this would be revolutionary is because up until now, the main healing drug that's been used across the world is called Kolto. Kolto comes from a planet called Manon. It's extremely hard to harvest because it has to be harvested underwater, and Manon, as a result, has the monopoly and sells to both the Empire and the Republic. And as a result, it puts it in a prime economic and powerhouse situation when you're the sole manufacturer of the galaxy's panacea. If what this planet is offering is real, it not only breaks the monopoly from Manon, right? But at the same time, it well, like I said, it not only breaks the monopoly of Manon, but at the same time,
Non-bully.
yeah, it definitely provides a secondary access to a cure-all, which shifts the entire landscape of, warfare and politics in the galaxy, because reality being at this point, whoever can heal their soldiers and throw them back on the battle the fastest has the highest chance of winning. So from a military standpoint, this is huge. From a geopolitical and economic standpoint, this is huge. This is a huge... This is actually huge news, believe it or not, from a galactic standpoint.
Hard to say whether or not my character is more intelligent enough to realize this, but if it's so huge, why are they trying to limit it to one side or the other? It'd be much more profitable to sell to everyone.
It's for you guys to
And
figure out. There's probably a reason behind that.
I'm gonna say cursory. Well, it seems that if you don't have any cause to take us seriously and you wish to side yourself with the Sith, then I guess we'll have no recourse but to not deal with you any further and to bolster our forces, potentially have embargoes against your planet. Good day, gentlemen.
She kind of laughs when you say that. She says, "Oh, so you're not willing to devote a fleet to Typhera to protect it, but you are definitely willing to devote a fleet to preventing it from trading. Talk point. Now you understand why we've asked for a defense fleet. I'm sure the Sith's fleet will be happy to turn yours into dust. Good day to you."
Oh, yeah, I'm leaving.
Especially, to secure their property. She adds.
Oh, that's fine. Their fleet isn't here yet, so.
Oh, they're just one hyperdrive jump away. She smiles.
Oh, and then I guess they'll be protecting the planet as well, making sure that there's no incursions, making sure your fields don't burn.
Very much
I mean,
so.
not to say your fields would burn or could burn, or if something were to happen to your slave labor that produces the agriculture that's behind your medicine. So, I mean, horrible things can happen. And then, we'll just walk out.
Yep. Very much so. How about the other three?
I have nothing really much to say because, yeah, just gonna follow, yeah.
Okay.
I'm not
On the
leaving until
order?
everyone else leaves the room.
Okay.
But the lady who's been talking mostly she continues to get that blank I don't give a shit stare.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to make her as comfortable as I can.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Basically reading on what Orta's gonna do.
Orta, what do you say you're due here?
Orta?
He's
Orta's thinking.
His brain.exe is revving up. Give the man a minute.
Oh,
His throbber's active.
Yep.
yeah, exactly.
A little bit of jazz elevator music,
Yeah. Bum, ba-dum, bum.
We just have all the things in the show. So we got the throbbers, the nuts, the
The jazz.
Jazz.
Stop
The Star Wars
The
jazz.
Star Wars jazz, yeah. Moving on.
Are we though? Are we?
I think we're just all 10-year-olds internally, but moving on.
I
Yeah, I have an intelligence 0. I mean, I have a decent wisdom, but
I get
you have to make you have to make the mistake first for the wisdom to kick in, which is what a lot of
I'm the
people
one with
forget.
the intelligence.
Yep.
What I
No, and I mean,
My
let's be
character's
real.
more sitting there going, can I shoot her yet? Can I shoot her yet? Can I shoot her yet?
Right. Let's be real too, though. Negotiation on a galactic scale is not exactly something that should have been handled by you guys in the first place. The fact that they sent you here was more to figure out what was going on, more than them really expecting any form of success in negotiations.
Yeah, but it was kind of
So they sent us here to humiliate ourselves a little bit.
Yeah, kind of like bait, as one would call it, from what you guys can gather at this point.
Or to
Well, I'm just waiting. Sorry.
Orta, yes.
basically to the individuals of the council that are present. Orta will basically... Man, I don't like going against other players' decisions, but it's kind of how it would be. Orta's basically going to say to each member, like to the members of the council telepathically, our threats and coercion are not the correct path. We will return with other delegates to perhaps organize a more lucrative deal as to not lose our connection with your planet and your people, and hopefully maintain positive relations as a whole. I personally apologize for any discomfort that has occurred to you all. This does not fall into the belief of the Jedi way. And Orta takes a bow, and begins heading towards the door.
When you telepathically talk to all three of them, a few things are gonna happen. The two humans look extremely nervous all of a sudden. Like, borderline panicked. Their mask of, like, complacency and, like, not complacently, but, like, almost lazy, like, I don't give a shit about you guy-isms, cracks, and cracks hard. Almost like they're like, terrified that you were, like, peeking into their brains this entire discussion. You know what I'm saying?
Insight check. How
Go for
hard
it.
were they
Yeah.
bluffing?
Go for it.
What can we glean from this information? I'm right there with you. It's like, oh.
For that matter, I'm
We're
going
gonna-
to use Force Enlightenment on myself again
Sure,
for the
go for
to
it.
give myself advantage on wisdom checks.
I'm
I'm gonna go
heading
with a
toward the
19.
door, so I
Yeah,
don't notice any of this.
me and Coda don't even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I was
I'm
like I
not
said, I was gonna be the
not-
last one out, so I was waiting for everyone else.
I know.
Yeah.
Meta, no meta.
You know what? It's not about that. It's just you guys kind of played off of each other. You know, good cop, bad cop kind of thing, and it worked.
24 on the insight check.
You realize that most of what they were telling you was true. It's just, again, they're terrified that you've been reading their minds, because clearly, like, it's not so much about what they told you, it's about what they didn't tell you. And while you don't know what it is that they didn't tell you, there's clearly more to the whole story. and they're clearly terrified that you would find out what that more to the story actually is. As
What
far
about the Ratix?
That's what I was about to say. The Vratix, without chittering this time, you hear it speak into your mind.
Okay.
I'm gonna need you to give me a Constitution saving throw real quick.
Okay.
Oh, damn.
Constitution.
Shit.
8, 14 on the con
'Kay.
save.
You're gonna take 12 points of psychic
No wait,
damage.
no wait. 17 on the con save. I have
You will not be
proficiency in
taking the 12 points of psychic damage. You're fine. So
that. God for aura of presence.
right when he talks to you,
It's a whole
It's a
bug hive mind.
yeah, it's 1,000 voices speaking at the same time. Exactly.
Oh God.
But
Oh my
they
God, it's
speak as
Soylent Green people.
but they speak as
We
one.
are Legion.
But they speak as one, and when they do speak as one, they do say, "Finally, we've waited a long time for the arrival of one such as you. We should definitely talk later, away from all these prying eyes and ears."
Orta continues his bow.
Okay.
And specifically sends a message to the Vratic saying something along the lines of, I'm glad to speak with your people. If there is any servant quarters that would be least likely for you to be seen as an issue upon, I will meet you there.
Unfortunately, there's eyes and ears everywhere on this station. A representative of the Hive will meet you aboard your ship.
No physical response from Orta,
Mm-hmm.
and after that message is relayed, Orta is going to look at the two humans and simply say, oh gosh, what does Orta say? Orta just projects into their mind once more. Simply saying, secrets often fester, but rest assured, these wounds can be healed.
So they'll, do the whole politeness thing as they'll bow back, but you could definitely hear the acid in their voice as they're quite outraged at having, as far as they're concerned, been, mind probed, which they haven't, but they don't know that. So they went from shock to anger, of course, as they answer, with a very acidic, "Oh, I'm sure."
And with the acid
And-
coming out of their things, well, I'm not going to make him move towards them. You do see Anli does grip one of her weapons a little more tightly.
It's vocal acidity. It's not.
I know, I know.
Yeah, we know.
But, okay, just to be
I
clear.
know, but it's a show of, hey, if you're going to take force, we will respond in kind.
And then,
As
and
a
then we
reminder
do
that we're not starting shit, but we will finish it.
That's right.
we do the Generation X, like, the suck it, and then like Ginyu pose and step out.
Got you. Makes sense.
And again, I'm the last one out, and I actually don't turn around until I hit the doorway. I'll just walk
Mhm.
backwards with my hand on my weapon, like, I don't trust you motherfuckers.
As you exit, very good.
And then Orta's going to be like, we are not safe in our rooms, I am certain of that. Projecting it telepathically, obviously, to the party.
Obviously.
We may need to... We can't leave yet. I don't... No? I'm pretty sure it's a hive mind. Basically, I'm going to tell the party the Vratics are sending a representative to our ship. We are not safe in our rooms as they seem to be under the perception that I know more than they wanted us to know. And as such, we
Nibble
are
thinks
officially a
back.
threat.
Oh.
That's to our advantage and sadly our detriment. But if the pot is stirred, can we talk to each other telepathically through you, or is it just a one-way communication to you?
It's the wording's a little funky because it says you can communicate. It might just be me to you, where it's
Yeah, I
like
thought
you
it
can
was
Yeah,
one
communicate
way.
Yeah.
telepathically with creatures within
If we
30
want to
feet.
respond, it's
Yeah.
out loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think Anli's just gonna turn towards the ship without really saying much. In expectation, that's where we're going.
Nibble just gives an eyebrow raise as he is also going to be returning to the ship.
Yeah, I'll follow to the ship.
Very
Actually,
good.
no, I need to go to my room and get my shit.
Yeah. So does Orta.
Nibble really didn't bring anything. He still has his little book with him.
Anli did not leave a single thing in that room, and she didn't trust it.
Yeah, I mean it's like backpack stuff. I'm not like lugging all my shit with me.
Yeah.
I keep that all on a ship unless I need to take it with me.
I mean, I guess yeah. I mean, I'm just used to taking all my crap with me. Alright, yeah,
We'll
so
hit
I mean-
we can go back to the room. It's fine.
Yeah, just double check, make sure we didn't leave anything important, and then just head to the ship.
Just be cautious.
Make sure the door doesn't close behind us.
Or if
Yeah,
it
good
does, I
call.
can finally rip it off its frame. That thing opens so slowly.
Right. But no, funny enough, it does not seem to be dysfunctional in any way. The door does stay open. You're able to easily move your stuff out. Nobody seems to like make any moves to attack you or otherwise assault you on your way back to your ship. You're able to get your stuff and your persons back aboard your
When we get
ship.
back to the ship, when I look at Mibble and be like, if we can get you access into their system, you can scramble everything they currently know. Couldn't you? Just set them back a few decades?
Well, for one, we should really get the information for ourselves first before we.
Well, yes, but then might as well not leave it in the hands of potentially the Empire.
Mhm.
As you guys get back on board the ship,
I thought we were on board when I said that to her.
no, I'm saying as you guys get back there, I just forgot one little detail. As you open the hatch to get back on the ship, or the airlock, whatever you want to call it, you'll hear a buzzing sound.
Is it insectoid perhaps in nature?
Correct.
I've been expecting this.
Did you warn us that they were meeting them here?
Yes, I
Okay,
said
okay.
that we would.
Yeah.
A Ratix
That's right. I'm
representative
sorry.
would be meeting us on
There's
the
a
ship.
lot
No,
of
you're
information and I'm getting
Mhm.
tired.
Sorry, yeah, we're not gonna go on for much longer. Probably another 20 minutes max, and we're gonna end it for today.
Yeah.
Just because it is getting close to 11 p.m. and people do need sleep, myself included. But yes, so you guys have that little conversation, and as that conversation ends, on the mess table, you'll see what looks like a very colorful, overgrown scarab.
Seem to come in many shapes and sizes.
And it did seem to kind of appear there out of nowhere as you kind of look at it, and it's hard to see it. It's almost like it kind of has this natural
Camouflage,
camouflage
yeah.
thing, yeah, where it kind of takes on the colors of its environment, almost like a chameleon.
That's useful.
And if it
That's
doesn't,
that's one way to avoid protect detection.
Yep.
Till it proves to be a better ally than those counselors or whoever they were, it gets the same stare they got.
So it's just kind of fluttering on the table right now. It's buzzing at weird intervals, but there's not much to be understood of it. Orda, do you get any closer to it?
Orta just sends out a telepathic greeting and does slowly approach.
You greet it telepathically, but unlike the actual Vratix you met earlier, who was able to speak to you with the power of the hive mind behind it, I guess you could say, this thing clearly is not that evolved.
Yes.
It doesn't really like answer back, but when you do greet it telepathically, it
Sending a phone
flitters
call.
off the table really quickly.
Mhm.
It basically almost jumps at your face. You know that thing the bugs do when they go for your nostrils?
Yeah.
Semi.
It's kind of that vibe of it, like just right into your face, or right to your face, where it kind of affixes itself right where your overbite is.
Dang it. That's what I'm sensitive about. No.
My hand is on my lightsaber, but I am not going to do anything offensive
Yeah, Orta's
unless
kind of just saying, hold off for now.
unless Orta, like, gives me the look that he's in trouble.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, Nibble
Caution.
backs up.
I pretty much got the same. I'm actually moving a little closer, so I'm like right next to Orta, and hand is on weapon.
Yeah,
Not quite drawn yet, but it's there.
right.
Orta, with it being there, right next to those inner tubes for your ears in your mouth, the vibration of its wings, that rhythmic vibration, actually comes up to your
Get
ears as
Discord
sound.
call. I
And
accept the
what
direct call.
what you hear is basically, hello, can you hear us? It's a very, it's very like buzzy, you know what I'm saying? But you're able to
Yeah.
make out words.
A little buzzy, but I can hear you.
it's like
Haha.
here's the who.
We appreciate the
Or-
humor. Well, as one would say, at the risk of sounding punny, we do apologize for bugging you, but this conversation was the utmost importance and could not be, well, trusted to the other representatives of Typhera's council.
I can't imagine why.
As I'm sure you've seen, their self-interest primes over their actual real interest for the planet or its native species.
That much was evident from the history books.
Quite so.
Now, to what do I owe the honor of speaking to the Vratics?
Well, what was missing from your so-called history books is my people have been made dependent on a drug and basically reduced to the equivalent of slave labor. The last 2,000 of us still, well, for a lack of a better term, connected to our mind, speak to you through me. And we ask that the Republic commit to freeing the Vratix species from their humans overlords. Should that be done, we do commit ourselves to supplying the Republic with proper Bacta.
So you have access to the knowledge to produce this magical new technology, this magical new medical effect.
It is nothing magical, it is purely chemical. We have a grain called, well, it's a form of what you humans would call barley. The name of it, well, it's the Retixia renanicus. It's a plant, really, that we are only able to grow here on Typhera. A form of barley, if you will, and its grain is what we use as one of the 3 main ingredients to produce Bacta. This is why they are so confident that nobody else will be able to access it. This is why none of the Vratics, save for myself, are ever allowed off-world.
Mm.
And if we help you achieve your autonomy from your captors, you will side with us and help as you can.
We will provide a reasonable percentage of our harvest
Of course.
as pre-processed Bacta to the Republic in exchange for our autonomy and protection from any other, well, invasive force that would want to damage or assault our planet.
I see.
As you know, there is a Sith fleet, apparently one jump away from the planet. Clearly, if they don't win through the diplomacy, they expect to win through force.
And is there any power that you, as a member of the council, can leverage to delay the deal with the Empire?
We are trying, but your poor performance earlier, unfortunately, will probably only serve to hasten the deal with the Empire.
And as for this drug, is there one facility? Is there one source for it? How are we supposed to break your people's dependency?
They kind of hesitate for a minute, right? And then once more they speak and they say, no, they have spread it through the waters of the planet.
I ask again, how are we supposed to break you free of the dependency if it's in the water?
Well, and so once more they take a few minutes and they say the point of entry, if you will, is a water purification plant. Clearly this must be where they routinely inject or mix their drug in our water. As you know, most life needs water in order to live, and, well,
Yes.
we are no different.
And how much control do you have over the production of Bacta? Your people.
My species produces the entirety of it. Unfortunately, the majority of my species are dependent on that drug, and as such are obedient.
And what is this drug produced of? What is its components? So as we can, while we take out the drug from the water, we can synthesize some sort of, I guess, what would be the term? Hangover cure? Something to help
Detox.
you, a detox, some sort of detox.
We believe it will simply wear off after several weeks. Either that, or my population will die off and the new young ones who will grow on clean water will be free of that dependency. Either way, the hive will endure. The main issue is simply more one of making sure that the cycle is broken.
And how will you deal with the withdrawal? Will you simply let the new members of the hive take up arms and leave behind the old?
As I said, should it not clear itself, the old will make way for the new. But the hive will endure. And you kind of get the idea at this point that these people are willing to, yes, have a generation die off if it means for their young to be free.
We are to do this, and we are to get to the planet. If we are to help with the water, we have to be able to get on planet. Do you have any way for us to do that more easily than fly through the planetary defenses?
You get a buzz of amusement from your mouth.
Bleh. That was a very
Right.
weird feeling.
It's very ticklish. As you get what you think is the equivalent of the hive mind's laugh. It says, as far as the sensors on the station are concerned, for the next 24 hours, your ship will be registered as a grain transport. You should be able to make planetfall.
And can you provide details as to? I take it you've already helped us identify which water purifying plant we are headed to.
Very much so. There's
Okay.
only one.
So we presumably have less than a day to head down to Planetside, clear out, destroy this water quote-unquote purification plant for your people, and essentially secure your freedom.
That
If
is
you can-
correct.
If you can tell us what this drug is made of, there is the possibility that we can synthesize a sort of detox that can help.
Unfortunately, we do not know.
Hmm.
Anytime one of our people had tried approaching that facility, they've been terminated.
Well, I've never personally been a fan of indentured servitude. I've never personally been a fan of drugging those unwilling. As such, I'm certainly willing to help, and I'm certain that my compatriots are willing to help as well.
On that note, you get the equivalent of a satisfied buzz from the scarab as it just plops out of your mouth and just flitters off to God knows where.
Bleh, bleh. Certainly not the thing that I was expecting to eat today, but we have a new goal and a new course of action. And Orta relays everything that was said to him during that whole conversation to everybody telepathically.
Okay.
So I guess we're going down to the planet then.
I believe that's what it's going to be. And as you guys go to take the ship out, right, you are not given the all clear by the control tower, as what seems to be a tractor beam keeps you guys in place. You see red alarms go on as you hear the voice over the PA system that says, "This is Typhera's authorities. You are under arrest for assaulting 3 of the counselors of the High Council. Do not resist, power down your ship, and open your hatches or be destroyed." And that is where we will end today's session.
They have a funny definition of assault. Maybe I need to prove to them what assault really is.
Or maybe something else happened while you guys were talking to the bug. But that being said, we are going to end the session here for today. However, fret
I
not.
hope don't take away my fun.
I know, you'll get your fun, trust, I promise.
We have a water
Um,
purification center to raid.
And
That'll
a
be
few other
fun.
people to deal with. But yes, as I was going to say real quick, and thank you, I do appreciate Rosa. Fret not, today is not our only show. You will get more Behold Roleplay fun. As on Saturdays, we have Withered Wastes and Wayward Wanderers that alternate every 2 weeks. As tell me, is your show
Withered
on
Wastes.
Yeah.
No, it's not on hiatus.
Okay.
We've had some difficulty with cast members and IRL.
Yeah. Okay, but you guys
we
are still
should-
running. It's been okay.
Yeah, so we
Okay.
should hopefully this weekend is Withered Waste. Next
Wow.
weekend.
Is Wayward.
But we've postponed Withered Waste for this weekend as there are some family things that our DM has to take care of.
True. It is Saturday.
Mother's Day, Rojan's birthday, the likes.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
for
that's a lot.
sure. I was just double checking though,
Okay.
that you guys were still running the show. It wasn't on hiatus or anything. It was just
Nope.
same problem we had with TOTOR, people being sick and whatnot. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yes, Saturdays you do have Wayward Wanderers, you do have Withered Wastes, and then it loops back to Monday where you guys get Destiny Forged. the flagship campaign, really. Then Tuesday is no longer alternating, but every Tuesday when I'm not traveling or sick, you will be having Tales of the Outer Rim, so TOTOR for everyone. And then Thursdays we have 2 alternating shows: our pirate-ish D&D show, The Tricorn Isles, and then Mass Effect Horizons, run by Zorro here. And yeah, that basically is it. Don't forget our once-a-month shows, where the first Saturday of every month we usually have Behold Lore, and then the last Saturday where we have our little one-shot, superhero one-shot here called Would Be Heroes. Yeah, so thank you very much for tuning in, guys. This was an actual blast. I do look very much forward to talking to everybody again. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday, as I will be flying back out this Tuesday. But thank you for tuning in. Talk to you all soon. And yeah, I'll see you guys in a galaxy far, far away. Cheers.
Bye.
Bye.